Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're listening to this, and welcome to the Friday Open Forum here on NerdTube. And on the panel today, we have got Panny, who is preoccupied. He's trying to pre-order toys at the moment. We have got the gravy aficionado himself, Gary. We've got D Jose 101, frozen again, as per usual, whenever there's more than four of us here.
No shit.
And of course, we have Zam as well, Mr. Fullbelly, the Birdman of NerdTube. How are you guys doing?
Yes.
I'm frozen, so I
good.
can't really complain. I guess I'll thaw out in 3,000 years.
I'm great. I'm just doing some pre-ordering here.
Yeah, Jose is our version of Philip J. Fry. And of course, the big topic we're going to be talking about this week, it's the story that's dominated the news, quite frankly, and it's Russell Brand. So Russell Brand on Saturday, the day after we did our last podcast, was the subject of an investigation. It was a 4-year joint investigation by the Times, the Sunday Times, and the program Dispatches from Channel 4. And they came forward with a whole list of allegations against Russell Brand, which included grooming of a 16-year-old. It included sexual coercion and one accusation as well of rape. And there's been a tremendous amount of fallout from this. So I've got a lot to say on this, but I want to get the thoughts of some of the rest of the panel first. So Zam, if you could start us off.
Yeah. As I've mentioned in the past, how I was kind of heartbroken a little bit regarding Brand because I actually thought he was a cool dude. There's some similarities with me as somebody who recovering drug addict and all of that shit, and tried to better themselves. And he was quite politically left-leaning, and I like some of the things he had to say. And then obviously him then turning to the dark side, becoming right-wing the way he is, and mollycoddling with all these dickheads really upset me. And you've seen so many people on the left, left-wing influencers doing that because that's where the money is. I just kind of thought a little bit better than him. I thought for me, he was a bridge too far. But at the same time now, with all these things coming to surface regarding the sexual assault allegations, there's no better place for someone like that to be than on the right, because they'll fucking circle the wagons and defend you to the fucking hilt, if you're one of them. And that's definitely been the case because you've got all these prominent figures on the right who don't give a shit about all the testimonies that have come out from all these women regarding him. They just think that, okay, it's cancel culture. And that's not the case. Cancel culture, with the right, when it comes to cancel culture, that being called out on their bullshit is cancel culture to them, whilst they're the ones fucking burning books and fucking firing teachers. And so they have no idea what cancel culture truly is. But Brand is finally being called out for his shit. I'm very happy that he is. I no longer feel upset about me once, admiring this fucker. I hope he goes down. I hope he goes down to fucking Chinatown. He can go fuck himself. He's a despicable human being, and I can understand why he turned the way he did back in the day to be a right-wing influencer. Who's next? Whilst Shredder is out. Ginger?
Yes. Well, my orders have gone through, so I can chime in now.
Yay!
Lovely jubbly. Consumerism complete. And all is good in capitalist society. My thoughts on Russell Brand is, look, I've never been a fan of his. I was somewhat surprised when he did start, going into left-wing politics and all that. I thought, oh, okay, hey, maybe this guy ain't so bad after all. And, some of the stuff he was spouting was pretty much, the good kind of stuff that you've heard all over about the anti-establishment stuff and all this shit. And then he just veers off into the conspiratorial stuff and all of that. But as a whole, as a person, I've not ever been a fan of his. His attitude towards women always kind of grated me, but I never looked at it in a way that, he's like a rapist or a sexual assaulter or anything like that. I just thought it was just someone that, might be a sexual harasser and things like that. But to see this stuff come out, I'm not surprised. And, if all the allegations are true and all of that, I hope he justice is served for once when it comes to victims. I mean, I've repeated myself many times on this stream about the British justice system and its attitude towards women. So I'm hoping some kind of justice is served, but I'm not holding out much hope. Gaz?
I'm trying, like, for example, like, I was a little bit shocked because I just thought he was like, because of the way he dresses, the way he acts, I thought it was like some sort of like rock star thing where he's just like getting groupies or whatever, or just getting like famous ladies who are models who want to be around someone like that. I didn't realize he was like that. And the thing is that he was an ex-drug addict, and I thought he was just using sex as another way of, because like if you've actually read his book, somebody raised it before. I think it was Andrew Gold. I was watching that today. That he raises that he had a very troubled childhood, and that he used drug and sex to get out of that. Now the thing is, that is not an excuse for the way he behaved, which is absolutely abhorrent. Now the thing is, I always thought it was always consensual because, like, you know, he had like, he was a decent looking fella. You know, he had like charisma about him, and the thing is, he had the chutzpah to go up to somebody and say, "How about it then?" And that's what he was. He was very. It was like a force of nature. But the thing is, that force of nature only works when, you know, people know who you are, and when you're in a country that you don't, or you're working with a vulnerable person, it doesn't work. And that's the whole thing. Is like I thought the most kind of like outstanding thing that's been said about this was by Sophie Rich, where she said that just because the reason that somebody might not speak out is that, you know, women have to go through, especially when it's a celebrity, you know, go through the press, slagging them off, go through, you know, people prying into their private lives, you know, in the way that they probably wouldn't do otherwise. You know, they have to deal with the fact that, oh, how come you didn't say anything before, this sort of stuff. So there's a lot of reasons, and there's a lot of social pressures that come with it. And
we'll cover those in just a moment, but I just want to pick up on 2 points that everyone's addressed so far before we get on to Jose. One is that it seems like a lot of this was in plain sight, and part of the reason for it was because Brand was openly saying that he was a sex addict.
Mhm.
So it feels like a lot of this was just it was open. There were whispers, there were innuendos, there were obviously gossiping around the comedy circuit. Female comedians spoke to each other in group chats and warned each other to stay away from him, but nobody knew for certain. But again, he covered a lot of it by being open and saying, "Look, I'm a sex addict." So I'm wondering if that played a part into the fact that he was able to get away with it in plain sight. The second point was when you talk about politics, is that did he lurch to the right because he knew something like this was going to come out, or did he lurch to the right because it was profitable? Now, I happen to
The latter.
I happen to think, I've heard a lot of people say he lurched to the right because he knew people on the right would defend him, and that's what we've seen. We've seen the Daily Wire come out in support of him. We've seen GB News come out in support of him. The usual suspects like the Quartering, Stephen Crowder, you name it. But I think it was more to do with he knew what was going to play well economically. He started off on the
God damn it!
Here we go.
That's all right. That's okay. I'll chime in on that, and I'll say I agree. Like, he did not started veering off to the right because of what was coming in terms of the charges. People like that don't think that there's going to be repercussions to their actions. He didn't think that anything was ever going to happen in terms of his past behavior. I thought it was all behind him, and that's why I would say that no, he didn't veer to the right because of what was about to happen. Like, he's a narcissistic sociopath. He doesn't think. Well, he's a narcissist, if anything, and they never expect repercussions for their actions. He just saw that the minute. It's the same thing that happened to Jimmy Dore. The minute they started talking about the vaccines and having started questioning the vaccines, boom, the audience just came in, and your views shoot up, your subscribers shoot up, your revenue shoots up. So you're like, holy shit, I'm making more money now than I did when I was peddling the truth. So I'm going to lean more into this.
it's not even just vaccines. He went far into quite a few right-wing conspiracies. But before
Yes,
this website,
because he started getting that audience,
before
and
this
that's why he
website
started going, yeah,
kicked me out because it hates me for some reason. Maybe it's the Matrix out to get me, like it's out to
Yeah.
get Brand, apparently. But he started off, as I said, he started off left wing. He brought out this book called Revolution, and he was spouting off a lot of platitudes that appealed to people on the left. It happened. It just happened to coincide with the fact that he was going on a tour. You know, so I felt that was more of a cash in than anything else. And
possibly,
if you want to,
yeah.
And if you, I mean, people talk about how he was brilliant political mind. Well, I remember when he went viral because people took some of his statements to programs like Newsnight and inserted them into the song Park Life. Because they really just were.
I just quickly add.
It was like a word salad. And at the same time, on top of this, you know, he was encouraging people to not vote. So Ed Miliband went onto his program. You know, he was one of a number of politicians who wound up going on his show, The Trues. And we'll get to the whole Guild Association thing that a number of people try to bring up as well. But Ed Miliband went on. Russell Brand changed his mind and says, no, people should vote, and they should vote for this guy. They should vote for the Labour Party. The problem was, by the time he'd said that, the younger people in his audience that he'd encouraged not to vote hadn't missed the opportunity to even register to vote. But again, fast forward a couple of years, he lurches to the right wing, and I think it's more of a grift. I don't think it was because he thought that maybe something's going to come out and he'll get all these people on board to defend him. I think it was purely a financial grift. I don't think he's that smart.
Yeah, purely. Gaz,
I just want to also add that regarding sorry, 1 second. Regarding the sexual allegations, though, I think what also made him get away with it for such a long time is that he was banging Katy Perry for a while, you know, and she's fucking gorgeous as fuck. And in a way that kind of gave him a little bit of shelter from those allegations because he had that in his fucking back pocket.
Yeah.
Well, the time frame of the allegations, was it not 2006 to 2013?
Yes.
Let me see when they were together, and then I'll get back to you on that.
And there was.
I think they married in 2013, and they divorced. Well, it was either 2012, 2013, and they divorced in 2014 because their marriage only lasted about 14 months.
What? Only 1 year? I thought they fucking lasted.
No, they were only together for two years.
No, it was 14 months, and then he wanted to.
Married. They were married for 14 months, but they were together for 2 years.
Oh yeah,
she was so fucking fine, man.
Yeah. But there was. I mean, I remember like. Again, thanks to the documentary, and I need to emphasize that I've suffered like a lot of memory damage over the last couple of years because of my mental health and all that. But the documentary kind of helped bring back because I remember there was that one woman in 2015 that accused him of being sexually assaulting him. They were in a relationship together, and I remember something about the somebody that worked on Big Brother as well, coming out years ago. Again, my memory sucks, but I was just like, yeah, oh, shit, this guy does it. And then you see all the clips of his behavior, and you're like, Jesus fucking Christ, how did this guy?
He's campus, fuck.
Yeah, but you know, there's the other side of it, which we'll probably get to later. We won't tap on it now, but.
A lot of people thought he was gay and all that sort of stuff, and then they thought he went both ways. And
I did.
Look at him. He looks like a, what's his name? He looks like he's like, you know, doing like the lead singer of a cover, like cosplaying the lead singer of The Cure. You know what I mean? Skinny as fuck, anorexic as hell, man. Yet this guy's fucking banging all the fit birds and shit. Yeah. What the hell? And he's got a very eccentric style.
Yeah, let's get Jose's thoughts on this as well, because we didn't.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really shocked by this whatsoever. I mean, with Russell Brand, it's like this is the thing with a lot of celebrities is like, all right, I'm gonna see what I can get away with, and I'm gonna see how much I could do before I fuck around and get caught. And it's not shocking at all. You know, this guy, he would say the shit that he says, and you know, he'll grift and he'll get people to believe what he wants them to believe. But all I could say for Russell Brand is, you know, if he is indeed found guilty of all this shit, they need to give him the fullest extent. But I don't know if it'll happen because, you know, I'm not sure how y'all justice system is compared to ours, our justice system is pretty fucked up when it comes to assault and celebrities and what they can get away with. So
our justice system, frankly, sucks when it comes to sexual assault. It's less than 3% of rapes that are reported ever actually go to court and are prosecuted.
Mm.
Yeah, because I think somebody broke it down as like something like, 1,000 people are prosecuted a year for it, and like there's like how many people a year do it? It's like something stupid like it's like 10,000 cases a year and only 1,000 go to court.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen though, sadly, he'll probably like if he does get convicted, he'll probably get off easy. Because the sad thing is, it does happen a lot of the time. It shouldn't, but it does.
I don't know because it happened in California from what I know. So I don't know if they have because again, you can.
It happened both in California and in England.
Oh, okay. So he'll get double tried for that.
So right. Well, no. Here's the thing, right? There were multiple allegations against him. The Times and Dispatches came forward with the best 4 that they had. The ones that they had basically the most concrete evidence on, the things that they pretty much could put out there and not get sued for libel, because they had text messages, because they had the medical records from the Rape Crisis Center. They were able to put all this stuff out there. There were more women who made accusations. There have actually been since more women who've approached the Times to tell their story. And again, they've claimed Brand sexually assaulted them. There's also an investigation underway by the Metropolitan Police.
Ooh.
The LAPD, on the other hand, unfortunately, do not have an investigation underway because nobody has come forward to them.
Mm. Okay, then it sounds like, if anything, he'll probably get 15 to life if anything happens.
Well, again, that's if anything happens, because again, as I've said, it's less than 3% of rape cases in this country, in the UK, ever make it to court and get prosecuted, and that's the ones that are reported.
But the thing that's the most depressing is that he's now married. He's got married again, and he's also got a daughter. And that's
he's got 3 children with this.
It sucks for his kids.
It's Kirsty Gallagher's.
He's married to the sister of the Sky Sports presenter Kirsty Gallagher.
Yeah,
and Kirsty Gallagher's hot as fuck.
Probably not the best time to bring that up, mate. If we're being honest, it's not the best subject to talk about. Oh, she's hot. Oh,
I had a question. I apologize.
But my thing is like, okay, if y'all justice system is kind of the same way as ours, and I don't know how it is for like UK.
Ours is worse, Jose. Ours is worse.
Sucks.
You'd never get something like Danny Masterson getting 30 years here in the UK. It would be a fucking miracle if a case 20 years old will result in a conviction like it did over in the States.
I'd be shocked. I'd be shocked if they gave him 5 to 10. I could probably see that, because sadly, that's what a lot of people will get here in America. But then again, our justice system is different than yours.
It is, yeah. Sometimes I praise it, but a lot of the times I don't. But like, especially how they convict, their kind of how they convict pedophiles in America, I think it's way better than over here. Because over here, like, Jesus Christ, you get nothing. Yeah. You get nothing. You can even plead to not even be put on a register in this fucking country. It's just it's really bad.
Yeah, whereas really here, bad. Once you get convicted as an offender, I'm just going to say it that way. Once you get convicted as an offender, you actually have to go door to door here and tell people that you are a registered, you know what. That's how it works around here.
Yeah. Well, if you're a danger, then it should be known for sure. Yeah, Zam.
When I was driving, I saw a billboard for Dr. Neil Fox's new radio show, and I think to myself, hold on, wasn't Neil Fox convicted of rape and all of that shit? There were so many allegations against him back in the day, and now the guy somehow has managed to get himself back on radio again, like nothing could go on. And I was absolutely shocked by that.
There's a good chance that money talks.
Oh yeah, Dr. Fox's career ended. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's on the radio, mate. He's got a radio show. I saw a billboard for it. I couldn't believe it. And like you've had people like him and David Lee Travis, obviously, most notably Jimmy Savile, as well as recently Andrew Windsor, aka Prince Andrew. Like they just get away with it. They all get away with it, man.
I'm reading up on it. Neil Fox was actually never convicted. He was cleared of all charges.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So that's
but he had several allegations against him.
Oh yeah, I'm not disputing that. Who was the other one though that who did spend time in prison? Justin Lee Collins. He spent time in prison for domestic violence
and stalking his wife as well, or something like that.
Yeah, and he's back on some radio stations now too.
Yeah, he was that one in Manchester not that long ago.
Yeah, it's just the thing is with them is they don't know what else to do with their life. That's what they know. That's what they want, and they'll just try and weasel their way back into those institutions. Unfortunately, and they really shouldn't. There should be a clear message to say, look, if you have a conviction where someone in the public eye who should be, there are pressures to be a certain kind of role model, and let's face it, if things like assault, rape, fucking domestic violence, and all of that means that you are a risk for people to be around, then frankly you shouldn't be allowed in the public eye because let's say you're somebody with that kind of history, and then you're forgiven and you're let back on the radio, and now you have access to all these members of staff, all these fans, all these like individuals, and all these like other celebrities and all this kind of stuff. And you've thrust this person into that position, just like they kept doing with Russell Brand over and over again with Channel 4 and the BBC and all these places. They kept putting him in a position where he was a danger or a nuisance to women. He was a danger to women. And this is what happens. And sadly, and Brand had a reputation. There were things in people's contracts to say, don't leave him alone with women and all this kind of stuff. But you still want him on TV. And so people like Justin Lee Collins doing what he did, I don't care if there's remorse and you've changed and all that. You've done what you've done. You've crossed the line. Go and work away from where you are a danger to the public. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
Tim Westwood as well, I think, got had some.
Yeah,
Tim Westwood,
he's
like
still,
with college girls.
I think he's still under investigation. I think he's just on trial.
Yeah.
How long has that been going on? Cool comment here, by the way. Let's get a comment going. I'll be interested in what year this all happened. Didn't Brand spend quite a bit of time in Africa?
2007 to 2013, I think.
6 to 13. But
yeah,
it was between 2006 and 2013.
Yeah.
And again, the Times and Dispatches, they published the stories of the foremost credible that they had.
Yeah.
So again, this was all stuff that they had records of: text messages, emails, medical records, and they were able to verify that the phone number that these women had been in contact with was actually that of Russell Brand.
And don't forget too, there could be also more coming out because you know how it is. Like
more have come out.
Again, there's been a complaint to the Metropolitan Police, which was a different woman. It's not one that was connected to the Dispatches program.
2003.
Yeah.
And there has also been more women approach the Times newspaper, so they are investigating those claims, and we'll check the validity of them. Now, so far, BBC, Channel 4, Paramount, and Netflix have all taken down material with regard to Brand.
Oh, Netflix too.
Yeah, Netflix have taken down some of the programming as well.
As they should.
We'll talk more just shortly, I think, about the demonetization and the issues surrounding that, because Rumble decided to claim this was cancel culture when the chair of the Digital Culture, Media and Sport Committee wrote to them asking them about monetization and what standards they have in place for protecting the safety of these women. But when it comes to what he was doing on TV, as I said, a lot of this was in plain sight.
Yeah.
We look back at cases like Jimmy Savile, Rolf Harris. Right, again, those were pedophiles. But Rolf Harris, there was an incident.
Oh,
and he's gone.
Fucking hell, this stupid stream.
Right, so
It hates him.
I wanted to say something, sorry. But it's all right, we'll wait for Shredder to come back.
Yeah, just wait for Shredder to come back. Hang on. Because he's on a... He's
But
on a...
In the meantime,
it doesn't take him long to get back in, yeah.
Yep, there he is.
Oh, mate.
I'll hide myself in the meantime. Hopefully
The
that'll
Matrix.
help.
No, I probably
Right,
won't.
man.
The Matrix is out to get me. I'm
Yeah.
too close to the truth.
Quick, get on with it. Get on with it.
But Rolf Harris, there was an incident which was in plain sight that everybody completely missed until it was brought back up. I did think it was on television. It wasn't. It was actually brought up on social media. When Vanessa Feltz used to be a co-host on The Big Breakfast, she did a segment called On the Bed, where she would lie on bed in pajamas and she would interview about numerous celebrities. And on one occasion, one was Rolf Harris.
Yeah.
She put out a statement on social media, I think it was on Twitter, where she said that Rolf Harris had actually stuck his hand up her thigh during an On the Bed segment.
Whoa.
And she was immediately met with rampant misogyny, saying, "Oh, no, that's not true. You're too ugly for that, blah, blah, blah."
Typical,
And lo and
yeah.
behold, they found the clip. And yeah, he was doing that. He was right on television. He was sliding his hand right up Vanessa Feltz's thigh.
Damn.
Oh, damn.
Damn.
So
Yeah,
yeah, he got away with this in plain sight.
Yeah.
And
But
a
this
lot
is
of
the thing. And the thing is,
it was the case with Jimmy
Yeah.
Savile too. A lot of the stuff he did was in plain sight.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing: I've heard a lot of this stuff about how if people knew, they should have spoke out. Well, one, they can't speak out because Brand is very, very litigious, and you could be, have your life completely ended if you just say he's a rapist.
Mhm.
And two, I always go back to the example of, have I got news for you? Ian Hislop had to address the fact that there was a fake transcript circulating just after Jimmy Savile was outed. And it claimed in this transcript that Ian Hislop and Paul Merton had outed Savile as a paedophile. Now, it wasn't true. It was completely fake. Savile had been a guest on the show, but they'd never said, "You're a pedo," or anything like that. And as Ian Hislop said, look, nobody knew. There were rumors, there were whisperings, there was innuendo, but nobody knew for certain. And you've got to be very, very careful before you just come out flat out and say you're a pedo. And it's the same with Brand. You can't just come out and say you're a rapist, if you suspect that he's done any of this kind of thing, because he can and will sue.
God, you got me thinking like this is just like R. Kelly, because the same damn thing happened with him. He got away with it for fucking ever.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to. Sorry, let me just. I want because this is all ties in. Okay.
Yep.
This is what I mean. So again, Shredder is absolutely spot on because people will go to any length to protect themselves, and because they have the money and the means, they will drag you through the courts. They get very litigious because it's very costly. And R. Kelly was doing it for years. The way he kind of built this weird cult and the way he had these women trapped in and all that. And in the end, just like with Brand, and because the justice system is so weak, they end up going to trial by media. And sadly, it does work because the media, first of all, they're going to double check, especially with this area. Now, there are other areas where they'll just completely make bollocks up. But when it comes to this kind of stuff, they will double check everything and they have the financial means to protect themselves. And they're the ones that are going to act like, the buffer to protecting the victims. So this is why you end up having the so-called trial by media, because this is where it goes. It ends up there and then it explodes to the point where now the perpetrator can no longer control the message, the narrative, can't control the victims anymore. And sadly, it's a necessary tool. And R. Kelly was proof in point. Harvey Weinstein in the end as well.
And to add to that too, go get the people that help Russell Brand, because I'm convinced, like, every time this happens, I'm like, there's no way people do this by themselves. They have help.
There's oh, sorry, I thought frozen again.
Yep.
There's investigations underway and at the BBC's LA studio because he reportedly attempted to sexually assault somebody there. He pulled his penis out in front of a co-worker, and they were talking about basically this woman there said that she was
oh my God, they got to him.
Yep.
Yes, Ali. Well, good for you. You keep watching us. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Hit us with a like as well if you want to.
But yeah, like I was saying, okay, while we wait for him to come back.
Oh my god, I'm shitting my pants, mate. I really am. Go and find me.
Okay, but like I was saying,
anal probe.
Like I was
anal
saying,
probe me, I'm begging you.
I was saying, like, okay, like go get the people that have helped Russell Brand get away with this shit too, because I'm always convinced every time that this happens, it's not just a singular person, if you know what I mean.
Well, like I said, the BBC's LA studio is under investigation. The Broadcasting Union has also spoken out and said this should have been dealt with in 2018.
Yes.
Because there was a complaint lodged then with regard to that incident. That incident happened, I believe it was 2008. And a complaint was lodged in 2018.
Yep.
And let's be clear, the whole investigation between the Times and Dispatches has started back in 2019. So this is
again,
way
this
before
was
COVID.
a 4-year long investigation.
Yeah.
Now, something else to consider. You mentioned the fact that yes, trial by media. I don't accept that term, quite frankly. In some cases, it's victims are more comfortable going to the press to investigate a story than to the police, and very, very good reasons for that. One is the press can actually give them a degree of protection and anonymity.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that. Yeah.
And just to give an example, you mentioned Harvey Weinstein. It took the media bringing him down. It's the same with Josh Duggar. Took the media to bring him down. We've had incidents in this country too. Private Eye and the Rochdale Alternative Press were the only two to initially report on the sexual abuses of the MP Cyril Smith. And that went completely disregarded by the police for the most part, and by other outlets in the media, and by the Liberal Democrats / the Liberal Party, who he was a member of, until after he died. And then it was actually finally a spotlight was properly shone on it, and it exposed that, yes, all these allegations were true. By that time...
It's a bit like Jimmy Savile. They waited till after he died until...
By that time, at least one of Smith's accusers had committed suicide because they had been labelled a liar. Because the Liberal Party had completely, had said, these people are lying. And it was the same just a few years ago when there was a police superintendent, Gordon Anglesey. He was convicted of being a paedophile. He was he was part of a paedophile ring in the 1970s and 1980s. Now, he sued Private Eye, I believe The Independent was another newspaper. He sued several publications for outing him in 1994, and he got £375,000 in damages for that, which at that time was quite a lot of money.
Wow.
Fast forward, it was only a few years ago. He was actually tried again, and he was formally tried on the charges of being a paedophile. He was jailed. And they sentenced him to, I think it was like 13 years in prison for what he did. He didn't even last a month. He died like a month after he went behind bars. He passed away of organ failure. But by that time, unfortunately, with the libel action, what happened was, again, the victims were smeared. They were all called liars. They were all called, the same stories that we are seeing now. We've seen multiple times, actually. Look at the whole Bill Cosby scandal.
Yep.
All of the victims have been called liars, out for money, out for attention, out for fame, despite the fact that
why did it take this long
anonymous.
And all that shit. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But again, by the time, after the libel case, one of Anglesey's victims who'd been encouraged to come forward wound up killing themselves. So there is a real danger of what can happen. And this was the days before social media. So you can imagine how much that would be multiplied if, say, for example, one of the victims went public and, their details were put out there.
Yeah.
So there's perfectly good reasons for them to remain anonymous when they're telling the stories like this.
Yeah.
Gaz,
you look like you want to say something.
No, there's been a little bit of finger pointing now. Other people saying, like, for example, Noel Fielding's had like him saying, "Oh, he was one as well." It's like, dude, just because they hung out and they're friends doesn't mean he knew. He didn't.
Well, no. The thing with Noel Fielding that people are bringing up, sorry to interrupt you, Gary, but the thing with Noel Fielding that people are bringing up because Brand was accused of has been accused of grooming a 16-year-old and using taxis from the BBC, which the BBC is investigating that now. But he was
damn thing. All right.
God damn it. 1 second. He'll be back. It only takes 2 seconds for him to come back.
Yeah.
Give it a
I'll
second.
hold off of what else I was going to say.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Come on.
There we go. Hey, I was 2 seconds off.
God damn the fucking Matrix. But yeah, as I'm saying, the one thing that people are bringing up with regard to Noel Fielding is the fact that Noel Fielding was actually dating a 16-year-old who was still in school.
Mm.
So that's the reason that Noel Fielding's name is being brought up. And it's nothing to do with the fact that he was friends with Brand. It's because he was also dating a 16-year-old.
How old was Noel Fielding when he was doing that? Not that it matters.
33. He was 33 years old.
Dirty little bastard.
You know, Russell Brand was 31 when he was dating this 16-year-old, and Noel Fielding was 33.
That's just for the American audience. Obviously, that's perfectly legal here in the UK. Doesn't mean it's
legal,
morally
but
right.
It's absolutely disgusting. And I think we need a real debate in this country with regard to age of consent law. And I don't mean the whole Sargon of Akkad, let's lower it to 14 or whatever the fuck, he wants to pull out, Mr. It depends on the child, doesn't it? I would like to see us move to a system similar to Germany. Age of consent stays at 16 in this country, but there's a barrier. It means that basically you cannot date somebody 2 years old, more than 2 years older than you. So 18 is your cutoff point if you're 16, 17 your cutoff point is 19, 18 do whatever the fuck you like. But again, we need this kind of protection. A teacher could not have sex with a 16-year-old. We now have had legislation passed where athletic coaches are not allowed to have sex with 16-year-olds. Doctors are not allowed to have sex with 16-year-olds. Lawyers are not allowed to have sex with 16-year-olds. But personalities in the media can. I think just close that whole fucking loophole down at all and just change it. So the law is, if you are 16, your cutoff point for a sexual partner is 18.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm all for that. 100% for that.
I'm with that as well. But back to what else I was saying. The other thing that I've seen is that there has been a lot of women speaking out about the whole thing, the atmosphere around this whole thing. And there's so many people, as I said, Sophie Rich before, and other people who've been doing such great work about it. But then the right wingers have been seeing such awful shit, and that is just making me just go, really? It's can we not just agree for once that the matches did a really good job? I mean, Piers Morgan was going on about the fact that this is a trial and stuff like that. It's not a trial. Look, he can get his money back if it gets proven he's innocent. There is a cost and effect.
I want to talk about the monetization at some point, because that was something that was brought to the forefront of the media reporting for a brief period because of Rumble's response to a letter from an MP.
We can talk about it now if you want.
Yeah, go with it now.
We'll talk about that in just a moment's time. But I just wanted to quickly address Piers Morgan. Piers Morgan has been trying to both sides this as hard as he can.
Yeah.
On one hand, he's praising the due diligence that was there from the Times and from dispatches. On the other hand, he's calling this trial by media. He's saying that should these women be allowed to remain anonymous? Well, yeah, they fucking should, because of the potential for harassment against them. And he's also been saying, he's also just recently had on somebody from the Daily Wire as well, where
Michael Knowles.
Yeah, absolutely, it was Michael Knowles, and they were basically saying that this was purely because of Brand's political views, and then it veered into conspiracies about fucking Donald Trump. So Piers Morgan is not really so much, I say he's playing both sides of it, but again, he'll praise the due diligence and the reporting of Channel 4 and dispatches, but at the same time, he's out there fucking defending Brand as much as he can.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's appalling when you look at the list of people who've come out in support of Brand. Andrew Tate was one.
It's Lawrence Fox.
Lawrence Fox came out. Tommy Robinson. Katie Hopkins was another one. You've got
Kirsty Gallagher.
Kirsty Gallagher, but then she took down her post. So I'm thinking
then she removed her post. Yeah.
I'm thinking that maybe she's now watched the program and she's maybe thinking, well, no,
No, I
this
shouldn't
isn't
have
fucking
said
adding up.
that. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in defense to Kiss Girl said that's her brother-in-law. That makes sense.
It is, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look, it is her brother-in-law.
Yeah.
I think her post went up just after Russell Brand had put out his video. And by the way, Russell Brand had 8 days to respond to that report from Dispatches and the Times. They gave him 8 days for right of reply, and this is what he came out with.
Yeah,
But
and he just came out with your
pathetic.
bog standard cookie cutter. I'm the victim here stuff,
Yeah.
and there's no talk of him suing or anything at the moment.
No, and he's
because
been
he got
known
him
to
banged
sue. I
right.
mean, he did that to the Sun because they accused him of cheating on his partner.
Yeah,
One thing you can say for sure now, though, is in the court of public opinion, it sounds like he's done. At least
yes
in
and
that
no.
sense.
I mean,
yes and
again,
no. Given the current environment,
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of people, even hours after the Dispatches program came out, went and supported him at his stage show. There's people saying that they still want to go and see him at the 3 parts of his tour that have been cancelled. There's people saying that they want to go and see him at this event in Australia that he's been cancelled for in February next year. They're saying, oh, this is an injustice. The fact that he's had his book cancelled, his agent has dropped him. And I know the podcast network he's on, they've lost an advertising deal.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Some stuff come out though absolutely disgusted me. Caprice, who was featured actually in one of the clips in the Dispatches program of Brand sexually harassing women in public. She was interviewed recently by Talk TV, and she basically said that the women involved were just as toxic for not speaking up. And again, I want to point out that there's a lot of risks if they had ever said anything in public. They ever went on a podcast or a YouTube video or on Twitter and said Russell Brand sexually assaulted me, they probably could have been sued into oblivion. And she should know because she is very, very litigious.
Caprice is, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Caprice has sued newspapers multiple times.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a note of it here. I mean, she sued the Mail on Sunday, the Daily Star in 2003 because they called her a gold digger. Because she got engaged to the grandson of a billionaire oil tycoon. An engagement, by the way, that just lasted 7 months. She sued the Mirror in 2004 for causing distress when they described her acting career as a failure. And she tried to sue the Sun in 2007 when they reported basically about her stint at the Priory Clinic for alcohol abuse.
Well, why would? Yeah, well, to be fair, in her defense, she has every right to fucking sue for that. Like that's
that one you probably
business.
could. I mean, one you probably could argue for. But I mean, the fact that a newspaper column suggested she was a gold digger, that she was able to sue for distress over. So if she's able to sue for that, imagine what Russell Brand could sue for if somebody came out and said Russell Brand abused me.
Yeah, slander, defamation, all that bullshit. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry for going a bit misogynist here, but sorry. I just had to Google Caprice because I remember how fit she used to be. She still looks fucking great, by the way. 51 years old, and she went out with fucking Tony Adams, the ex-Arsenal fucking captain.
Again, this is probably not the podcast we bring up.
Let's try and keep it a little bit more professional, mate. Given the subject matter.
I'm hiding again.
The one area of entertainment where people were able to talk openly about Russell Brand's behavior was, believe it or not, the comedy circuit, stand-up circuit.
Yeah.
And the reason for that, Ros Irwin at the Sunday Times, she coordinated the investigation, and she spoke to the Newsagents podcast, which Global Media, LBC's parent company, puts out, and I highly recommend. Emily Maitlis is part of that one, and she is phenomenal ever since she left the BBC, and same could be said about guys like Andrew Marr. But Ros Irwin said that basically it could be defended more easily if it was on stage as a joke. They didn't require the evidence to back it up because they could basically say, look, it was a joke. And that was very, very similar to when Hannibal Buress exposed Bill Cosby.
Yep.
Hannibal Buress exposed Bill Cosby on stage. And he could easily just laugh it off and say, well, it was just part of my routine.
Yeah, this is it. You've got
Oh, and she also addressed the arguments, by the way, about why the Times didn't hand over their dossier of evidence to the Metropolitan Police. And she put it quite bluntly. The reason is it's not the Times' story to tell to the police. And also, on top of that, they've got an obligation as journalists to protect their sources.
Yeah.
And their sources might not want to have to go through the whole traumatic experience of a police investigation and potentially a trial. And I would say, especially if you're dealing with the Metropolitan Police, because there's over 1,000 officers currently either suspended or in reduced duties. 450 of them are suspended or in light duties for allegations of sexual assault or domestic violence. And that's 1 in 30. 1,000 officers suspended from the Metropolitan Police or suspended or on light duties. That's 1 in 34 of the Metropolitan Police. You know, I can understand why women might not want to go.
Sadly.
Yeah, and I can understand why women might not want to go to them because, well, Wayne Couzens, Charing Cross, the Women's Vigil.
Yeah.
The fact that you've got to go through this whole ordeal of a police officer taking your phone, reading through all your text messages. So, hey, well, it says here 2 years, I've got, in this text message 2 years ago, it said you consented to having sex with him. You know, that's going to be used against you. Or, we've got one of your posts from 3 years ago where you enjoyed being choked a little during sex, and you're accusing him of choking you.
Yeah, they'll use that against you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, whereas Brand's promiscuity, that's being used in his defense.
Yeah,
but the promiscuity of the women is being used to condemn them.
Yes. Yeah.
That's an appalling double standard.
Yeah, that's the double standard. Sadly, we have to live by.
Yeah.
Well, not we, women have to live by in this society because, again, female promiscuity is always looked down upon. It's always looked as like, hey, well, look, you put yourself out there. What do you expect? It's like, okay, so no accountability for the behavior of the men then. Great, fantastic attitude to have. Gaz,
I was just going to say, I wonder why people don't have sex a lot these days. It's just ridiculous, to be honest with you. The thing is with Brand is that we all kind of, I always thought he was just a buffoon, but the fact that I realise he's this dangerous person is just really annoying. But as I said, what's been really good, as I said, has been the blowback from all this. Is that there's more women in the comedy circuit and in media speaking out about this? Sophie Ridge, Shredder was the same with Rosa, with other people, just putting themselves out there. And I think that there is going to be more people who get exposed in these kind of things. It's just going to take a little bit of time.
It's people like Catherine Ryan have been vindicated for.
Catherine Ryan. Let's get into this. Catherine Ryan.
She's a comedian, Jose.
Yeah, okay. Catherine Ryan's a comedian in this country. She's a Canadian.
Yeah.
Now, she had basically spoken publicly previously about how she confronted quite a famous comedian about being a rapist and a sexual predator. Now, she had never publicly named Russell Brand. She still hasn't, but people have worked it out.
It's alluded to? Yeah.
Oh, no, they've worked it out that it is him.
Okay.
They were both booked to be on the panel of Comedy Central's Roast Battle. And the whole time, Catherine Ryan kept calling Russell Brand a rapist and a sexual predator to his face. That broadcast never aired. Those lines were cut out. Catherine Ryan still got paid for her appearance. Brand quit after the first season of that show because he also thought it wasn't appropriate. He wasn't appropriate for fair. He wasn't fair game for comedians to make jokes about things like his failed marriage or his drug and sex issues. And Catherine Ryan has also said herself, look, if I named this person, I could be in a lot of trouble legally.
Yeah, there's a good chance I'm going down.
And I could lose my home. I'm not giving up the ability to provide for my daughter.
Yeah.
So, she was in a tough spot. She knew. She confronted him about it, but she can't obviously name him publicly, and she still hasn't been able to name him publicly.
No. Yeah. And there's clips Obviously, that so there was the interview she did with Louis Theroux, but there was also clips of her talking with another female comedian, and they were alluding to
that was Sarah Pascoe.
Sarah Pascoe, thank you, and they were alluding to Brand without naming him as well. So, and this is all before, this is way before any of this kind of investigation started. So, yeah, his behavior has just been well known for years.
Oh well, and again, a lot of it was in plain sight. Richard Herring, I know, has deleted an episode of his Leicester Square Theatre podcast where Brand was on because Brand cracked a rape joke.
Yeah.
Also, right, the clips that were played in dispatches from Radio 2, I'm amazed that the BBC did absolutely nothing.
Absolutely nothing. I can make
Absolutely.
that out before he left.
Yeah, so the clip that we're talking about again is him shoving his member into women's mouth and love seeing them gag and have tears down their mouth and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, go on, Shredder.
Fucking Matrix. Anyway, no, as I was saying, I'm amazed the BBC did absolutely nothing about his behavior, and particularly when you listen to the clips of him sexually harassing on air the BBC Radio 2 newsreader Andrea Simmons.
And they allow it. They're like, okay.
Oh, not just the fact they allowed it.
Yeah.
You know, the fact that he was sexually harassing her on air, and she didn't have a right to reply because she was not in the same studio as them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's right.
When it was brought to his attention that he was making her uncomfortable, he made jokes about it on the air.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, because
I'm gonna come in like a cameo fighter from fucking from Mortal Kombat 1. Yeah, because I want to comment on this fucking shit here. It's a 21st century double standard when you post anything online, anything you say can and will be held against you. You know, before even online shit became a thing, you had the audacity of famous people who committed a lot of crimes do their shit on like television performances. Like famously, Bill Cosby had an episode of the Cosby Show where he was drugging women, and he was making fun of it. So I'm thinking, obviously, he did it in real life when it came to the rapes. He did constantly. Jimmy Savile would make jokes and do things. I remember famously on Top of the Pops, he was fondling this one girl whilst doing an interview. He's got that horrible smile on his fucking face and shit like that. And he was talking about certain things on I've got news for you, which pretty much incriminated him. I mean, these people have said, basically, it's who they are, and it spills out onto the surface. And it's no surprise then that this shit then ends up coming back to, to convict them, to haunt them, all of these things. So, yeah, I mean, what do you expect from people when they do this shit? It's going to spill out, into the real world.
Right, Connie, I'm going to send you a link, by the way. I posted this earlier in one of our group chats, but I'll send it to you now. Obviously, because the Matrix keeps dropping me out, so hopefully you can play this. I want to play a clip. This is from GB News. This is one that's done the rounds. I think everybody knows about it.
I've seen a clip. Yeah, send it. Yeah.
Bev Turner of GB News decided to defend Russell Brand publicly and called him a hero.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And this was the clip. I've sent it to Panny. Hopefully we'll bring it up in just a moment.
Yep.
So I want to just quickly go through this with the panel. And I will say, though, full credit to her co-host, Andrew Pierce, who, he very publicly called her out on this.
Good.
Yes, he did.
So,
which was a goddamn miracle. So I'm going to play the clip.
Yeah.
I won't be able to see you guys because I'm going to go full screen and
all right. Yeah.
We get to see it.
I might yell out pause.
Referring to. It was your tweet, Beverly Turner, at the weekend when you said about what's his name?
Russell Brand.
You are being attacked. Establishment needs you. Don't know what to do with the fact you have 6 million subscribers.
6.5.
And generate autonomous knowing and original content. You are welcome on my GB News show anytime.
Is that okay? Can you see that?
Yeah.
We are mainstream media, but we are not establishment
come on this morning,
media.
We'd have had him, let's be honest.
But we are not establishment media.
Pause that.
Keep going.
Pause right there. She's saying if they had the chance to have him on that morning, they would have.
What?
Well, do you realize how much of a breach of broadcasting standards that would be for a news channel to have someone who is actively accused of sexual assault and rape, who is now under investigation by the police, on as an interviewee.
That would be the end of your fucking station. That'd be it. It'd be over.
Yes.
It'd be like,
I mean they've been pulled over by Ofcom because of like having active politicians come on and be hosts on their fucking network.
Yeah,
absolutely. But this is beyond the pale. And this is Bev Turner, a woman, saying all this, and you wonder why some women are very, very fucking reluctant to come forward when even other women behave like this.
And plus, the thing is that if this was going to trial, which is probably going to, like, they could get done for breach of flaming justice, or what it's called, flaming the thing that Tommy Robinson got done for.
Sorry?
Tommy Robinson, when he got done for, what was it?
Tommy Robinson was contempt of court.
Because he
was contempt of court.
They could get this shit.
Contempt of court, breach of partiality.
Actually, sorry, guys, can we respond to that question? Because I was thinking to myself, hold on, Donald Trump, he was accused of raping many people, Jean Carroll being one of them. He actually got accused of that as well.
America has very different broadcasting regulations than we do.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, they have different rules. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to hide again.
Okay, let's continue.
Shall I carry on playing?
Yeah, please.
All right, and just shout pause, and I'll respond straight away.
This proves you're winning. You're a hero with a love heart emoji.
Yeah.
Bev, that is shameful.
It's not.
That is shameful. That is
Okay,
shameful. You have dismissed in one tweet a 4-year investigation by the Sunday Times, the Times, and Channel 4 as contemptuously the mainstream media. A 16-year-old girl has complained of being groomed by this man. 2 women have said they were raped, and there are more and more cases coming tonight. And you say you're a hero. Don't you think before you say someone's a hero, hang on, don't you think before you say he's a hero, you should establish whether these very serious allegations are true?
Well,
what's the answer to that?
Before I tweeted that, I had spoken to several sources close to Brand, close to the Times.
Had you spoken to those 4 women?
I was confident that there is no smoking gun in this regard.
Right.
I remain confident, having watched the dispatches, if that is what they've got after 4 years of a joint investigation by the Times newspaper and Channel 4, there is 4 flimsy allegations from women who choose to stay anonymous, so there is nobody that can counter their version of events. It's nobody who can say...
Pause. She's literally calling these flimsy allegations, and after 4 years of investigation. Now, I'm wondering if she watched the program or if she's just so fucking deluded.
And look at
This is
don't worry. I'm gonna press play. It's coming. Wait. Just wait.
This is fucking QAnon territory.
Yeah, just wait.
Okay.
It's coming.
Well, hang on. I was there on that occasion.
Whilst,
and this is the thing.
Do you have any sympathy for these women?
There are 1.1
million.
million.
For these women?
Every year, there are 1.1 million people who are sexually assaulted in this country. Newspapers, like yours, don't care about that until there's a celebrity involved. And then suddenly, it's all over the front page of the paper. Of course, everybody has the right to not be sexually sexually assaulted. Anybody who has been sexually assaulted, my heart goes out to them. This happens every single day.
There's not a
country.
scintilla of sympathy in this statement on Twitter for these 4 women who, I would argue, none of them know each other. It's a very big thing to go public. And you say this proves. Keep going. This proves you're winning. What, winning by allegedly raping and grooming 16-year-olds? You're a hero, love heart.
Let me tell you why he's winning. He's winning because he is a man who generates his own content under his own speed, under his own expense.
Yeah,
he is a threat to all of these newspapers.
The ones that you write for when you can.
I love news.
Pause. Russell Brand is not a threat to any single newspaper in this country.
No.
He literally is basically at this point Jimmy Dore, except with sexual assault allegations. He's basically a nuisance. He's somebody who puts out weird conspiracy theories that nobody wants to touch, and for good fucking reason. Yeah. And she's got some nerve calling out newspapers. Bev Turner is a columnist.
How the fuck does this? I can't even get my words out because I'm so fucking angry. How the fuck does this bitch have a job? Like,
Jimmy News is basically our Fox News.
oh
yeah,
my
GB
god.
News is like
No,
Fox News. Basically.
I wouldn't even class it as Fox News because Fox News at least actually has production value. GB News, if anything, is our version of InfoWars.
Yeah, that's
I also
true.
want to add, it makes me laugh when establishment says that these people are up against the establishment. I mean, Russell Brand is establishment now. He's a fucking multi-millionaire hanging around with all these fucking pricks, who are.
And he's funded by
establishment
Peter Thiel, for
themselves.
fuck's sake.
Yeah, exactly. Closer to your
He's
mic,
having dinner with he's having dinner with people like Donald Trump, who is establishment through and through. I mean, they want to say that they claim to drain the swamp, but they are the fucking swamp.
Yeah.
So when I hear all
he
this
goes
shit,
and guest hosts on people that are the establishment. As
Plus,
well.
he's not speaking against power. He is power.
But plus, recently he offered to do a debate between Jordan Peterson and Richard Dawkins. That's as establishment as you can get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I'm
But
going to
again,
play some more clips.
I just want to point out, though, Bev Turner's slagging off newspapers. Bev Turner's a goddamn columnist.
Yeah.
She's written columns for the Mirror. She's written columns for the Daily Mail, the Independent.
Yep.
Various other newspapers in the country, and the Spectator as well. So where does she get off slagging off all these newspapers?
Yeah, popcorn in the kettle or twat. This doesn't really matter. I mean, he's still going to hold a lot of political influence, sadly.
Yeah.
He's just.
As Shredder's got again.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll get.
He'll come back.
I'll
I'm back. I'm back. Play.
Welcome back to the Matrix, bitch. Right, I'm going to carry on playing some more.
Newspapers.
Right.
Don't get me wrong. I love this industry.
So that's
Wait for the
more
bombshell.
important than these allegations by these women.
Why now?
No,
Why now?
It's taken 4
Why now?
years. It's taken 4 years for this.
And that's all they've got. Why didn't they go to the police? Why haven't they gone to the police now?
The allegations, they're increasing in their number, and I guarantee to you this is going to be a huge investigation, a huge story, and I'm astonished that you leapt to his defence before you can have
any
read
of his content in the last 3 years. You have no
hadn't
idea who he is
watched the
now.
dispatch.
You have no idea what he represents.
Had you watched
to
the Dispatches show when you had you watched the Dispatches show when you put that tweet out on Saturday morning?
No, but that doesn't matter.
No.
Oh,
There you go. You
Wait a
hadn't
minute,
even
what?
watched the fucking documentary.
Oh my lord.
And
Yes.
here's another thing. I mean, she keeps saying this is all the evidence they've got. As soon as this clip finishes, I want to address fucking Matt Walsh, and him defending Russell Brand because he goes further and defends rapists.
Yeah. Okay.
He
I'm
claimed
gonna
it
play
doesn't
this.
matter, by the
Oh.
way. He said
What?
it doesn't matter. Those are the words regarding the rape victims. It doesn't matter. I mean, I don't understand this woman. I mean, she's what? You're telling me this woman herself has never had like guys creep on her and stuff like that. She's reasonably attractive. How can she
Mate,
not
Bev
relate?
Turner, if you Google Bev Turner in the 90s, she was prominently in the media and absolute gorgeous, like consistently voted in the top 10 of all these kind of stupid lists and all of that. Like she
She was always topping. Again, I really,
she used to host NBA
don't
on
wanna
Channel
say this,
4.
but
I
again-
think that was her show.
Yeah,
No,
I
she
mean,
used to do Final One.
she was a television presenter in this country for a long
Yeah.
time. I know she had a radio show on LBC, but again, during the late 90s and the early noughties, yes, she topped a lot of lists of most beautiful women on TV.
Yeah.
So, of course, she was
Yeah.
about to have men creeping over her.
Yeah. And to have no sympathy for these, it's just shocking in that little bubble that she appears to live in. I can't speculate, obviously, on everything. But anyway, I'll play the rest of the clip.
No, it doesn't matter.
There was
You
nothing
hadn't
they could tell
even
me
seen the
about
Dispatches
sexual
programme
claims from 10
when you
to
put out
15 years
he
ago.
is a hero.
And
You
he
hadn't even
threatened
seen the Dispatches
what you
programme.
stand for. He
Let me
would
say
not
to you,
have
what do you make
gained
of that
the
as
popularity
a woman knowing that
if
how
he hadn't-
difficult it is
if
in this
all
country?
of the mainstream media hadn't been singing for
Missing
one
the point completely.
non-scientific
No,
hymn
and
sheet
all you've done
for
is
the
attack
last 3
these
years,
women.
Oh, here we
Shame
go.
on
It's
you.
and he
COVID.
wouldn't have the
It's all
heroes.
COVID.
Yeah. That's it. So basically, yeah,
Shame on
because
you
he's
for
speaking
attacking
out
these
about
created that
COVID.
hero.
He's a
Shame
hero.
on you
Created that
for attacking
hero
these women.
because all these people, all these newspapers that gave one side of the pandemic, he was
So
a
it's
lone
now about
voice.
COVID again. Beverly Turner's other big hobby horse. She can't get through an hour without going on about COVID. This is not about COVID. This is
He
about
talks
serious
about
allegations
stuff
about a
that
public
matters.
figure who has been accused by 4 women of two of rape, one of grooming a 6-year-old, and you're banging on about COVID.
He talks about the
You're
thing
obsessed.
that matters.
You're
No,
obsessed.
I'm telling you
You're obsessed.
that the reason
Stephanie.
he is a hero to
Right.
millions of
Yeah.
people, millions who will
Right.
be watching
Not to
this
these 4
channel,
women.
is because of his position
Right.
on politics
Right.
in the last 3
Right.
years. He used to be a left-winger. He now gets written off as a right-winger. That's why people like Jonathan Ashford don't know what to say. Because when he was the left-wing darling, everybody loved him. Now that he's interviewing people like Tucker Carlson and interviewing Ron DeSantis, the press hate him. They've
You're
turned
just
against him
not
because of his
talking
position.
about the issues,
But
are you?
Those people, press is darling.
I guarantee you that if either one of them gets fired, it's going to be Andrew Pierce.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because the rest of GB News has pretty much come out in support of Russell Brand. Neil Oliver
Why?
has done a
Because the
piece-
motherfucker told the truth. That's why.
Yeah,
he
well,
told-
you mean Andrew Pierce?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Andrew Pierce, yeah,
Andrew
yeah,
Pierce
not-
got
not
fired
Brand.
for telling the truth.
Yeah.
But the rest of GB News came out in support. Calvin Robertson came out in support of Russell Brand. Andrew Doyle has done a piece defending Russell Brand. Neil Oliver has done a piece defending Brand. You know, the entire network is on his side. Even Nigel Farage has done a piece in support of Russell Brand.
But the thing is that you have. Oh, go on, guys. You go, mate.
I mean, these are the twats who keep on talking about people being groomers and trans people being groomers and saying trans people being groomers. Yet we actually have a story done by a legitimate newspaper, a legitimate thingy about an actual rapist and a defending the fucker. It's the consistency that does books. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, spot on. You know, this is the same people. Like, and the thing is, like, they have to defend it, because if they don't, they'll fucking lose their audience, because that their audience that watches things like GB News are the kind of anti-vaxxer crowd, the COVID conspiracy thing. So it pays dividend for them to defend them, and that's why, Jose, you're not wrong if you say if anyone's going to get fired out of them two,
It's going to
it
be
would
him. Yep.
You know, not that he
Yeah.
will, but just saying if
If it was to
Well,
happen.
was
Yeah.
it Guto Hari? He got fired after he took the knee in support of Black Lives Matter.
yes,
No.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I can honestly see Andrew Doyle getting fired at some point over this.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah,
You told
but
the truth. You
Th-
told
this
the
is
truth
also-
that we don't
this-
like.
This is also the same channel, by the way, who is calling this a witch hunt. This proper investigative piece of journalism by the Times Dispatches. They're calling this a witch hunt against Russell Brand and trial by media. This is the same network that jumped on the bandwagon when the Sun did an actual witch hunt against Hugh Edwards.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
they did.
I mean, the Sun didn't do anywhere near the diligence of this report from the Times and Dispatches.
No, they went on the
And-
word
and-
of the
and-
parents. That's it. They just
Yeah,
went on the
yeah,
words of the parents.
Even the so-called victim, the person that Hugh Edwards was supposedly paying all this money to, and and feeding a drug habit for, they told the Sun this is not true.
Yeah, and they didn't care. They still went with the story because they had their agenda. They wanted to bring anything that discredits the BBC and makes the BBC look bad. They're going to run with it regardless. And what are the repercussions after that? Hugh Edwards nearly fucking killed himself.
Yep.
And the Sun is. Are the Sun being taken to court for this? Are
Nope.
there any repercussions? I ain't seen any.
I think once Hugh Edwards is fitting well, that's when he'll maybe consider legal action.
Yeah.
I hope so. I fucking hope so. I don't. I'm not a fan of Hugh Edwards. Everyone has a right to their privacy. What he did was nothing criminal. So if he did nothing criminal, then I hope he takes him to the fucking cleaners.
Yeah, I mean, look, we don't know the ins and outs of that story. We don't know, was he having issues with his marriage? Was he having a same-sex relationship? Is he struggling with his sexuality? Nobody fucking knows.
Nobody
nobody
knows.
really
It's none of
needs
our
to know.
business. Yeah,
Exactly.
it's none of our
That's
business.
what I'm saying. Nobody needs to know.
The Philip Schofield thing is a totally different thing because
Yeah, because he was
of
accused
the
of grooming.
age. Yeah,
he was accused of grooming because he met this person when they were 14.
yeah. And now that it's all come out as well, I could say, like, I had friends that worked on this morning. Good morning.
Yeah, this
Britain.
morning.
this morning. Okay, I have friends that work. One still works there. I had 3 that worked there who I went to uni with, and they were, all of this about Philip Schofield was very well known, and one left because of his just being a cunt, basically, and the other just left because change of position and all this kind of stuff. But it was well known. They knew about this lad. They just knew it. But the producers, yet again, what do we have with Philip Schofield that we have with Russell Brand? They failed to act. They did nothing. They did not protect the victims. They did not protect anyone. They just protected their fucking money and their ratings.
Again, anybody who knew about it obviously was going to be very, very reluctant to ever come out about it because Philip Schofield could sue them.
Yeah.
But they knew. But the thing is that what I'm saying is the production knew about it, but yeah, they didn't want to say anything. Because the producers were like, whatever.
Well, again, they might have heard reports, but if they didn't know for certain this was going on, again, Philip Schofield could sue for libel, take them to the cleaners.
Well, this is it. This is it. And he can always say, hey, hang on, I brought him on here to work. I didn't say anything about relationship. So there's that deniability, obviously, because it wasn't exactly being forthright and kissing him and all this kind of stuff when the cameras weren't on and all this kind of shit. So yeah, there is the grounds of that, but people knew basically. But yeah, anyway.
Well, the only take I could think of that was worse than Beverly Turner was from Matt Walsh at the Daily Wire. Now, Matt Walsh, who is himself a paedophile, because he routinely has gone on about how he wants to fuck 16-year-old girls because that's the age where they're the most fertile for childbirth. His way of defending Russell Brand in a video was to lead in by defending the convicted rapist Danny Masterson.
Oh my God!
Now, I'm not going to link Russell Brand's video. It's not something I think we should play on this channel for the simple reason that, basically, if we show explicit images of uncircumcised penis in this channel, we will get taken down by YouTube. So we're not going to be
we're not going to do that.
Matt Walsh.
By the way, just to quickly sure if we get a word in, I think Matt Walsh is possibly setting himself up to eventually have allegations come out against him. That's why I think he's.
I have no doubt. I think at some point it's going to come out that he's either committed sexual assault or he's got something on his hard drive that he really shouldn't have.
It's probably the latter more so than anything. TikTok,
quite probably.
Yeah.
But Walsh, he took issue with the fact that Masterson was convicted of crimes he committed 20 years earlier and suggested that rape accusations with, quote, no evidence can and is being used as a weapon to silence political opponents. Now, this was despite the fact that both of Masterson's trials involved testimony from experts and DNA evidence as part of the prosecution's case against him. And Masterson had been accused of 5 women of rape. I mean, yeah, he went on trial for 3, but there were 5 accusations of rape against him.
Yep.
He was sued by 4 of them in a civil trial. And the only reason he was charged in the 3 counts of it was due to a lack of sufficient evidence and the statute of limitations had expired.
Yeah, I only found out about the 5 when you talked about it because I thought it was a 3 and then obviously only 2 stuck. But there was 5 accusations.
There were 5.
And then 4 went to trial, which, again, I didn't know.
No. 4 went to a civil trial.
Sorry,
and the civil trial is actually how they basically got Bill Cosby, and it's unfortunately how Bill Cosby wound up getting freed from prison. Because Cosby confessed, that he had done all this stuff during a civil trial, but he'd cut a deal that said, look, if I confess to this in the civil trial, it can't be used against me in a criminal one.
Yep.
But it was used in the criminal one. He went to prison for it, and obviously this deal was brought up on his appeal, and they had to let him go.
Yeah, but Cosby's career is over anyway. It's like, yeah, dude, there's no coming back from it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but there's no justice for the victims, sadly, because he's free.
And sadly, the victims didn't get the justice that they deserved.
Yeah.
So all around, everything is fucked.
Yeah. So one of the women who accused Masterson of rape was a longtime girlfriend of his. But Walsh, of course, he argues, like quite a lot of people on the alt-right do, that it's impossible to rape somebody that you're in a relationship with.
That is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard.
But
Yeah,
here's the thing: that attitude is not just restricted to America. There was a UKIP donor in this country who, in I think it was 2014, he was basically speaking publicly that he wanted marital rape laws to be abolished.
Oh,
Now, in the UK, marital rape did not become a crime until the Sexual Offences Act 2003.
Oh my god!
So it was still legal to rape your spouse up until that point.
Was it? I think it was in 1989 where spousal rape became
it's
illegal.
2003.
I'm pretty sure it was the Sexual Offences Act 2003 where it was abolished.
Mm.
Now, I'm willing to be corrected on that. But nobody in UKIP spoke out against this donor. And I think there was a good reason for that. It wasn't technically official UKIP policy to campaign for marital rape laws to not exist. But in 2006, the pound shop Enoch Powell and merchant banker turned self-styled man of the people Nigel Farage, he decided to lead his party in a vote in the European Parliament against EU legislation which would have required marital rape laws to be in place across all member states. So UKIP voted against having marital rape laws across the entire EU bloc. So again, it's not restricted to America. But if we go back to Walsh, I mean, he's got a fucking piss poor track record. You know, he's regularly defended rapists, despite the fact this is some arsehole who crusades against trans people on the grounds that he's protecting women and girls. So he defended Harvey Weinstein. So he claimed that Asia Argento, who was 21 years old at the time she was raped by Weinstein, kept going back for the sake of power and clout in the industry. And he challenged the notion that sex should be considered good or bad based on whether it was consensual.
Oh,
for
Matt
fuck's
Walsh.
sake.
Jesus Christ.
Matt Walsh, you fucking idiot. You moron.
He's publicly defended forcing minors as young as 12 to give birth to babies who've been conceived after being raped by adults, such as the girl's own father.
This
Now,
motherfucker is beyond insane.
He's a piece of shit. Yeah,
Here's his
Walsh is a
justification
piece of
for that. Here's his justification for that, because he says an abortion allows the crime to be covered up, but forcing the child to go through the pain of childbirth and raising a constant reminder of the fact they were raped would at least mean there's hard evidence against the father. Now, that's got to be the most fucked up argument against abortion I've ever heard.
What
big
the
time.
fuck?
And it falls flat in its face just when you look at this year alone. If you remember, there was that 10-year-old girl who had to cross state lines from Ohio into Indiana to get an abortion.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
the reason it was even discovered that she was a rape victim is because she went for that abortion. The guy who did it is serving life in prison.
Yeah.
He's not getting out. He's not eligible for parole, until he's done 25 to 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
And
then,
in
he
the
ain't
state where
getting
she
out.
came, it wouldn't have even been considered anything. It would have just been like, well, tough. You got to have the baby, and there's no evidence. Blah blah blah. Probably,
Yeah.
Yeah. Matt
But
Walsh,
let's see who else he's defended. He defended Cardinal Theodore McCarrick, who was a serial child rapist. He put a video out a while ago where he's basically said that McCarrick's victims should have been able to defend themselves against him. He also said in the same video, by the way, that Asia Argento couldn't have possibly raped the teenage male who accused her of that because she's a 100-pound woman. And he wasn't that far off his 18th birthday.
Yeah, so Matt Walsh is a scumbag.
Oh, dude, he's beyond that. He's fucking low life piece of shit. Something
Oh, yeah,
I wouldn't even
right.
call
But
him.
I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the stuff
Theodore-
that he's saying he gets accused of eventually.
Yeah.
Theodore
well.
McCarrick, by the way, only just avoided going on trial 3 weeks ago because it was deemed that he's now mentally incompetent to stand. He's 93 years old, so he was due to go on trial for sexually assaulting a 16-year-old boy. And,
Wow.
he's now been deemed mentally incompetent, so he's not going to stand trial, at least in Massachusetts.
Mm.
Josh Duggar, he defended him.
Oh.
So this was after Duggar had been caught molesting his younger sisters.
Yeah. Matt Walsh
Jesus
is even
Christ.
lower than low.
Oh, and this is how bad it gets. Walsh, he'd penned an article where he even said that if his son had sexually assaulted his daughter, he would not report him to the cops.
Yeah, okay, you're not human. You're not human. Anybody that says that type of shit.
I mean, Matt Walsh is not human. He just
Yeah,
I
he's
mean,
not
I mean,
human.
Duggar was very, very lucky. He didn't go to prison for any of that because obviously the statute of limitations had passed. I mean, he went to
Yeah.
prison for possession of child pornography.
Yeah. Can you imagine if it was everything else? If everything else had happened, he'd be easily serving life in there. It'd be like,
Right. The detective that examined, by the way, Josh Duggar's computer, he described it as one of the top, as in the top 5 of the worst that I've ever had to examine.
fuck.
And it included on his hard drive a video of the rape and torture of an 18-month-old toddler, which was produced by convicted sex offender Pete Scally.
What the
fucking hell, man?
Scally is in the Philippines doing life in prison for sexual offenses against children. And just last year, he had an extra 129 years slapped onto his sentence.
Oh, that's not enough. That motherfucker needs to get like easily 1,000.
But Matt Walsh has never walked back his defense of Josh Duggar. So yeah, I'm thinking at some point Matt Walsh is going to be exposed for
check his hard drive,
assault, or he's going to have something on his hard drive.
Oh, fucking rot! Fucking
rot.
Yeah. Give him the max.
Transport, maybe child porn, he'll be all there.
I'm talking child pornography is the kind of thing he's probably going to have on there.
Yeah, more than likely. Yeah, because if he's saying the shit he's saying, I'm like, there's a chance you got some shit covered up that you don't want getting out.
Definitely.
I have yet to find a worse defense of Russell Brand than Matt Walsh, and I don't think anyone is going to top that.
No, I don't think so either.
Convicted rapists.
Yeah.
But we also had Rumble basically lying about censorship and cancel culture because they got a letter from Dame Carolyn Dinenage, who she's the chair of the House of Commons Media Committee, and she wrote to Rumble, she wrote to TikTok, she wrote to Meta, she wrote to Twitter, she wrote to the BBC, Channel 4, and GB News. All of these letters are available in the public domain.
Yes, so, I suppose I can tell you about his daughter. Yeah, so basically what she did was she asked them what their policy was in regards to demonetization. So if there was a... Sorry, did you mute it if you want to speak? Anyway, so she basically wrote that as a question because she's part of the cultural media, and people say, "Oh, that's cancel culture." No, she's just asking the question what their policy is. That is not cancel culture. That's asking what their policy is.
Good Lord.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Unfortunately, now when you're questioning people and they have allegations against them, that is cancel culture. It happened the other week with Hill versus Babyface when he was exposed for being a fucking idiot, complaining about pronouns. People mocked him for it. He made a response video and he said he was being cancelled. He wasn't being cancelled. He was just being called out.
Yeah.
And same with a lot of these people who've been alleged for various things. They're not necessarily being cancelled. They're just being called out. And many of these people suck the teat of capitalism and letting businesses do what they want. But the moment those businesses do what they want against them, they're being cancelled. They have no problems with a bakery not baking cakes for gay people. But the moment you have to walk into an establishment with a mask,
it's a problem.
You're impeaching my rights. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah.
Fuck these people.
So he got Brand got demonetized by YouTube, so he's still allowed to post videos on the platform, but he's not allowed to make any money off of them.
Good.
And deservedly so. And YouTube.
Yeah, but how long before they remonetize his fucking channel?
Yeah, because you know how that shit goes.
They just remonetized recently.
We addressed last week the fact that they remonetized Matt Walsh, despite the fact that he's still breaking the TOS in the same way that he was demonetized for.
Yep.
Yeah.
Steven Crowder fucking teabagging his fucking star, for fuck's sake.
Well, Steven Crowder is pretty much relegated to Rumble now exclusively.
Yeah, he's done. His career is done, thankfully.
Yeah. I don't think he's making anywhere near as much money as he used to now on Rumble, especially when his views have dropped.
Yep.
But the fresh and fit as well, hasn't it?
Fresh and Fit have, they've moved over to Rumble.
Yeah.
They got a strike on YouTube.
Monetization.
They've also pissed off quite a large section of their audience. The black section of their audience was not happy that they embraced people like Nick Fuentes and started going on podcasts like Tim Pool.
Well, I've got no sympathy for any part of his fucking audience because they're all just a bunch of misogynistic wankers anyway.
I completely agree. The statement from YouTube, by the way, on Brand and the demonetization of his channel, it read, "We have suspended monetization on Russell Brand's channel for violating our creator responsibility policy. If a creator's off-platform behavior harms our users, employees, or ecosystem, we take action to protect the community." One, that statement is bullshit. YouTube does
complete
not
bullshit. Can I just interject? Can I just interject?
Yep.
Just briefly, Matt Walsh, because the very person we're talking about had just said last week or this week about arresting anyone that takes part in a pride parade whilst defending Lauren Boebert jerking off her boyfriend. I told you we'll get to talk about it, Zam. Her fella in a theatre, and his defense of that is, well, no, you know, there was no evidence of it, and instead what we should be doing is arresting anyone that takes part in a pride parade, because that's surely much worse expose to children than what Lauren Boebert did. This kind of fucking rational thinking, and the prick's still allowed on the platform and fully monetized.
Yeah, YouTube might as well say, yeah, we got to do what we have to do, and then put and like annotations, because that's pretty much
pick and choose whatever's in the headlines. We'll act upon that. Yeah, but once the headlines die down, then you know.
Yeah, we'll take action.
What makes us money.
Now? Yeah, we're going to take action for now, and then we'll act like nothing happened, and then be like, oh, okay, you're reinstated, you're monetized, all that bullshit.
Exactly. The only reason YouTube have taken action is because Brand is such a high-profile figure, because he's been on television, he's been in Hollywood movies. This is such a high-profile figure that, yes, he could damage the platform if he stays on it, and in particular, if he monetizes things like, you know, videos where he maybe potentially even doxes one of the women. So if he says, well, Alice from the Dispatches program, her real name is...
blah, 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 blah. Yep.
And that's actually the reason I've said that I think YouTube should completely deactivate.
Damn metrics.
You've got to. By the way, I disagree with the notion that he could damage the platform, because YouTube's full of fucking misogynistic cunts with terrible backgrounds, in my opinion.
Yeah, but the thing is,
we're not just talking misogynistic, we're talking like fraudsters and all types of shit.
I know what you mean, Zab, but because this one's in the spotlight and it's very high profile, and if YouTube aren't seen to act, then again, don't forget, like the Washington Post's massive hit job that absolutely fucked monetization for that platform was because YouTube's adverts were appearing on videos that just had, like, you know, not very nice content, for example, and they used that excuse to kind of do a hit job on YouTube and to scare the crap out of advertisers. So with this, with the Russell Brand thing, if they're seen to do nothing, then, you know, legacy media can use that to attack YouTube, any excuse to kind of help bring them down. So at least this is a gesture that where they can use as a defense mechanism to say, hey, look, as soon as it came to light, we acted upon it. Now, I think, and I'm no Shredder, you want to touch it, they should go a step further and just terminate his channel.
Thing. Yeah.
Well, I would say I would say at the very least, suspend it. Make sure he can't post videos to the account. For the simple reason that Brand often posts to YouTube to go and watch him on Rumble, where he can talk about the things that YouTube won't, the stuff that would get his YouTube account completely nuked. So the ultra extreme COVID conspiracies, for example, he puts those on Rumble. He doesn't put those on YouTube.
Yep.
So Rumble potentially is where I suspect if he starts a smear campaign against these women, or even just doxes them, that's where he'll do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
he wouldn't get away with it on YouTube anyway.
And he's got how big is his audience on YouTube? I mean, it's what, over
6.5 million.
Yeah, 6 million. He's got an audience of 6 million. His audience on Rumble, if I remember, well, actually, I've got the figure here actually, because I've got the letter from the chair of the Digital Media Committee. It's 1.4 million. So he's got far fewer followers on Rumble. But again, he has enough to do some very, very extreme damage.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because don't forget, look, it's not just that. It's not the 1.4 million on Rumble. It's where that spreads from there, because then that goes into Twitter, and then that goes into TikTok, and then that goes into forums and all this kind of stuff. That once that information is out on Rumble, so even if it's an audience of a few thousand, the spread that could cause and the damage that could do, and they'll find these victims because they it's not hard to do so. So even if it wasn't like as big an audience as it is on, say, YouTube, just that audience alone is still enough to do a lot of damage to get to the victims.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rumble, by the way, did a smear job on this MP because they, and this was something that GB News and even Piers Morgan picked up on. They basically said, "Oh, this is cancel culture taking away his right to a living." We won't go into details about somebody who's done that before on this channel, but the fact is, they painted it as the chair of the Culture, Media and Sport Committee trying to have his monetization removed everywhere. That's not true. The letters are publicly available. If you go to committees.parliament.uk and look for the Culture, Media and Sport Committee, you can find these letters. So I've got all of them pulled up, all 7 of them. I'm not going to read all of them. Again, there was letters to TikTok, Meta, Twitter, Rumble, BBC, Channel 4, and GB News. Now, the letter to TikTok, I'll read this one. It's this was to Theo Bertram, who's the Director of Government Relations in Europe for TikTok. The letter says, "Dear Theo, I am writing concerning the serious allegations regarding Russell Brand in the context as a user of TikTok with over 2.2 million followers on the platform. The Culture, Media and Sport Committee is raising questions with broadcasters who previously employed Mr. Brand or production companies who employed him to examine both the culture of the industry in the past and whether that culture still prevails today. Although Mr. Brand no longer appears on television, he now has a follower base on social media, including TikTok, where this weekend he republished his preemptive response to the allegations made against him by the Sunday Times and Channel 4's dispatches. While we recognize that TikTok is not the creator of the content published by Mr. Brand, and his content may be within the community guidelines set out by the platform, we are concerned that he may be able to profit from his content on the platform. We would be grateful if you could confirm whether Mr.
TikTok got to him.
Oh, no.
Just give it 3 seconds and he'll be back.
Yeah, he'll be back.
He'll be back. We'll take a pause on that. God damn this fucking platform. I was saying on stream the other day, God damn this platform that Zam and Cheeto graciously pay for and allow us to use.
And
the fucking Matrix.
An hour and a half. This is amazing.
Yeah,
I told you it's going to be long. That's why I didn't want to commit to any other subjects, mate.
How far did I get in this letter, by the way?
You got about a quarter way the way through. Right,
what was the last thing I said before I cut off?
We would be grateful if, or something like that.
Yeah, you'd be grateful, yeah.
All right. Oh, yeah, here we go. It was the last paragraph. We would be grateful if you could confirm whether Mr. Brand is able to monetize his TikTok posts, including his videos relating to the serious accusations against him, and what the platform is doing to ensure that creators are not able to use the platform to undermine the welfare of victims of inappropriate and potentially illegal behavior. Yours sincerely, Dame Caroline Dinenage.
Simple as just it's an inquiry.
Are you intending to demonetize him? Can he monetize videos, including on this serious subject?
Yeah.
They're just wanting an answer on that front. Now TikTok did reply, by the way. TikTok did send a reply. They basically said that Russell Brand does not make any money from their site. So TikTok don't allow advertisements to play in their videos, but they instead pay people through a creator fund, and Brand has never been part of that.
Okay, good.
So now the letter to Rumble, again, it was along similar lines.
It was
What
exactly
did
the same
Rumble, did
lines.
Rumble respond?
It was
Yes, it
basically along the same lines. It was saying we would be grateful if you could confirm whether Mr. Brand is able to monetize his content, including his videos relating to serious accusations against him. If so, we would like to know whether Rumble intends to join YouTube in suspending Mr. Brand's ability to earn money on the platform. So again, they're just asking, Luke, is Rumble planning to demonetize him? They're not saying, please demonetize him. They're asking, do you intend to demonetize him?
Yeah.
And can you confirm whether or not that's going on? We would like to know what Rumble is doing to ensure that creators are not able to use the platform to undermine the welfare of victims of inappropriate and potentially illegal behavior. Which, again, is pretty fair. It's a standard, straightforward question that you would expect a committee of that nature to ask.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
But Rumble ran with it and said, "Oh, this is cancel culture. They're asking us to take away his monetization." When
no,
they quite clearly
motherfucker, we're just asking.
never
a
fucking
question.
did.
Yeah,
They're asking, "Do you intend to?"
Wow. Such a mature response from that fucking platform. But I expect less.
The right we got there. So
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Brand ends up on Kick as well. And
Yeah,
Because-
they asked Facebook if he's monetized there and if they intend to join YouTube in suspending him. Twitter was a different case entirely. Twitter was a different series of questions. So this letter to Twitter, this was sent to Linda Yaccarino, the chief executive of Twitter. I'm not going to call it by the new name. If Elon Musk was dead,
No,
if Elon
Musk
Musk was
dead name.
if Musk can dead name trans people, I'm going to dead Twitter. So fuck him.
Twitter.
Exactly.
Yep.
Fuck him.
So yeah, dear Linda, I am writing concerning the serious allegations regarding Russell Brand in the context of his having 11.3 million followers on Twitter. The Culture, Media and Sport Committee is raising questions with the broadcasters and production companies who previously employed Mr. Brand to examine both the culture and of the industry in the past and whether that culture still prevails today. So that's the same as the other letters. However, we are looking at his use of social media, including on Twitter, where he shared his preemptive response to the accusations made against him by the Sunday Times and Channel 4. We recognize that Twitter is not the creator of the content published by Mr. Brand. We are concerned he may be able to profit from his content. We would be grateful if you could confirm if Mr. Brand monetizes his content. But here's where it differs.
Hi, system.
Sorry, given Elon Musk's response to Mr. Brand's tweet regarding the allegations where he wrote, "Of course, they don't like competition," we are also keen to understand whether Mr. Musk has personally intervened in any decisions on Mr. Brand's status on the platform. We would also like to know what Twitter is doing to ensure that creators are not able to use the platform to undermine the welfare of victims of inappropriate and potentially illegal behavior. Well, that answer is fairly straightforward. The answer is they're going to do fuck all.
Yeah.
And I will say that I am 100% of the belief that Elon Musk did intervene on Russell Brand's behalf, because one thing that did happen during the broadcast of the Channel 4 Dispatches episode was that Russell Brand was removed from trending topics.
Yes, he was. Yep, I saw that because when I kept clicking to see if there was updates coming in, I went back and at one point wasn't there. It was
the most talked about issue in the country at that point while that broadcast was going on.
Yeah,
and
it wasn't on trending topics on the right-hand column.
Elon Musk has form for interfering and overriding Twitter executives or Twitter's algorithms when it comes to things like this, or even other members of Twitter's staff. So, for example, the Twitter account Don Lucra was suspended by Twitter's child sexual exploitation team because he posted images of child pornography. And Elon Musk intervened to have that account reinstated.
Yep.
So I think it's pretty obvious that Musk probably has interfered on behalf of Russell Brand when you look at the fact that a lot of the stuff was removed. Russell Brand has not appeared for quite a while in trending topics, despite, again, being one of the biggest news stories internationally.
Yeah.
Yep. It's just very typical of Musk and his abhorrent behavior, knee-jerk reactions to defend. I mean, I don't even know why he would defend him, but there you go.
Because he's right wing.
Well, yeah, he's a big fan.
Just a big fan, that's more than anything.
Musk has not yet met a right winger he doesn't like. I mean, let's be honest. He's a fan of Andrew Tate. He's a supporter of Kanye West. He's a supporter of Alex Jones.
Yeah.
So the letter to the BBC was basically straightforward, and that they've just asked the BBC to keep the committee updated on the progress of their internal investigations.
Yep.
It's the same with Channel 4, just asking Luke if you can keep us in the loop with regard to the internal investigations. GB News, they actually did specifically bring up Beth Turner.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'll read the one for GB News. This was sent to Angela. I'm probably going to butcher this name. It was Angelos Frangopoulos.
Frangopoulos, yeah.
Frangopoulos. He was the chief executive officer at GB News. It says, "Dear Angelos, as you will be aware, the Culture, Media and Sports Select Committee has been looking into issue of behaviour and culture, blah, blah, blah. In July this year, we wrote to the editor of The Sun regarding serious accusations made against Dan Wootton. The newspaper responded by setting out its ongoing investigation into his alleged behaviour. The following month, the DMG Media, as the publisher of Mail Online, announced Mr. Wootton had been suspended as a columnist while its own investigations are ongoing. Since then, we are aware that Mr. Wootton continues to broadcast on GB News and indeed discussed the accusations against him during a broadcast on the channel on the 19th of July 2023. It is vital that viewers have faith in the media, especially in the case of news brands where truthfulness and accuracy are key. It is also vital that those working in and with the media can be confident that they are working in a safe environment. We would therefore be grateful if you could set out to us what, if any, investigations or processes have been undertaken since the recent complaints about Mr. Wootton were publicly raised, and details of the policies and procedures available to staff at GB News in the event they seek to raise issues about the conduct of individuals or the culture of the organisation." Just on a quick tangent, for anybody who's not aware, Dan Wootton was accused basically of catfishing a bunch of people and getting
catfishing and sexually
sex tapes and sexually explicit images of people,
blackmail
under false pretenses, and blackmail as well. So very, very serious accusations against them. Back to this letter though. We're also aware that during the weekend of the 16th, 17th of September, GB News presenters opted to use their social media platforms to defend Russel Brand against accusations of rape and sexual assault. While GB News is not responsible for this content, it is concerning that Beverly Turner, who described Mr. Brand as a hero and invited him to appear on her show, subsequently fronted GB News' coverage of the allegations regarding Mr. Brand on the morning of the 18th of September. During that broadcast, Ms. Turner announced that if he'd offered to come on this morning, we'd have had him, let's be honest. While Ms. Turner was challenged in her comments at length by our co-presenter Andrew Pierce, we remain concerned that having a presenter so clearly supporting an individual who is the subject of intense media coverage, including seeking their appearance on the show, undermines any perception of due impartiality in the broadcasting. We would be grateful if you could set out your discussions with GB News presenters on their responsibilities on due impartiality and professionalism when seeking to front coverage of news events and any actions you intend to take in response to those issues. Now, that's quite funny, them saying, any discussions with GB News presenters on their responsibilities on due impartiality and professionalism. Professionalism.
Where's going to go?
Oh.
What is this, like the seventh time he's...
it constantly happens. Yeah, it constantly happens. I don't know if we'll give him, direct login, if that might make a difference or not. Go on, William. Sorry, mate.
Who knows? But professionalism and GB News just do not go in the same sentence. But these letters are the least I would expect from that committee in particular when it's discussing issues like this. And there was nothing where they're prejudicing Russel Brand, it's trial by media, Parliament is accusing him of being guilty. No, they've literally said, what safeguards are you taking in place are you putting in place to make sure that these women are protected?
Yeah.
And I think that's pretty fair.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's quite literally the least that the committee can do. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So nobody can accuse them of not acting upon information. So, it's not fucking council culture. They're not trying to silence anyone. They're literally just saying, hey, what's being done about it? What are you
do
doing?
something about it. Yeah.
Yeah. What's protections you got for the victims kind of thing?
Yeah,
so
because as Fred was saying before, he could just go on his YouTube channel or Rumble and just say, well, I know who this person is, I know who this person is, I know who this person is, I know it's wrong for this, this, and this, and that person gets harassed into flaming
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's nothing stopping him on those platforms from doing it. You know.
Guy,
So-
we've actually got some breaking news, by the way. This just came out with about half an hour ago. Russell Brand makes his first comments since the sexual assault allegations.
I saw that.
Oh boy.
Oh,
So this
let's
is-
go! Breaking news, baby.
This is from BBC News. So it reads, Russell Brand says it has been an extraordinary and distressing week after rape and sexual assault allegations were made against him. In a video published on social media, he thanked followers for their support and for questioning the information that you've been presented with. They are the first public comments since allegations were published by the Sunday Times and Channel 4's dispatches last weekend. Brand has denied the claims. In a joint investigation by the Sunday Times, the Times and Channel 4's dispatches, 4 women accused Brand of sexual assaults and rape between 2006 and 2013. Brand denied the claims before the allegations were published, saying his relationships were always consensual. The actor and comedian did not address the allegations directly in Friday's 3-minute video, but made claims about what he described as media corruption and censorship and deep state and corporate collusion.
Deflect.
Of course.
He said he would release a fuller video on video streaming site Rumble on Monday, saying the platform had made a clear commitment to free speech. Yeah, basically they're saying that they're not going to take any fucking action against you,
Yeah.
even if
Yep.
you are
Yep. So
this
he's
vile
doing
fucking piece of shit that pretty
so
much
he-
everybody now believes you to be.
Yep. So what he's doing is he's deflecting that bullshit. He's like, all right, I can't say nothing here. You know what I'm saying? But over on this motherfucker, I can say what I need to say. That's pretty
Oh.
much what he's doing.
And by the way, just
Yeah.
a quick side note, just for anybody who's saying, before I go on further with this column, just for anybody who's saying, oh, he's innocent until proven guilty, well, yes, under the law, he's innocent until proven guilty. That's if he goes to court, he's entitled to the presumption of innocence until proven guilty. Public opinion, we're allowed to have that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes, that's
We're
like-
allowed to say, we think he did it, or
Yeah.
we don't
Yeah.
think he did it.
Public
the same,
opinion, like we
Mi-
said earlier, like,
Michael Jackson, all those accusations. How many people said he probably did it?
yeah.
Yeah.
So back to the column. Earlier this week,
Yeah.
responding to a UK Parliament committee that asked if it would cut Brand's income in the wake of allegations, Rumble said it would not join a cancel culture mob.
Yeah, of course they're not going to do that.
Of course.
Directly.
I
And the
suspect
Sunday-
nothing less from them.
Yeah, I agree. In the Sunday Times and Channel 4 investigation, 4 women made allegations against Brand. One woman alleges that Brand raped her without a condom against the wall in his Los Angeles home. She says Brand tried to stop her leaving until she told him that she was going to the bathroom. She was treated at a rape crisis center on the same day, which the Times says it confirmed via medical records. A
Yes.
second woman in the UK alleges that Brand assaulted her when he was in his early 30s and she was 16 and still at school. She alleges he referred to her as the child during an emotionally abusive and controlling relationship. Looking back, she says he engaged in the behaviors of a groomer.
And he got a huge stiffy when she told him she was a virgin
Yeah.
as well. He became extremely aroused.
He also basically coached her into how to lie to her parents.
Yeah, that's right. To go and meet him and all this kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. All that can be said, though, is Russell Brand, he's pretty much, for the time being, all that can be said is he's pretty much done. It's like they're going to do what they got to do. If advertisers are smart, they're dropping his ass. That's what I would do if it was me.
Hang on.
yeah.
Hang on. Yeah, you carry on. I'll just bring him back
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
I mean, but the thing is that like, I mean, he still has like films and stuff like that are publicly available. I mean, are they going to start getting taken down and stuff like that? I know that a lot of things have been taken down, but like stuff like Arthur remake he made, and Forget Sarah Marshall he's in, and Get Me to the Greek that he was in.
Yeah, but I think aren't those things on Netflix? Netflix has taken down a lot of his content.
Yeah, Netflix is, because what's going to end up happening is the same thing it usually always does. They end up taking down his shit, and then they'll be like, yeah, we don't promote that type of shit, or we don't condone it.
And again, everybody's saying like, "Oh, well, what taking down his stuff?" Well, Michael Jackson during the second rape trial, a lot of radio stations took his stuff off the playlist
Yep.
temporarily, and
Yeah.
they basically all of them said, "Look, if he's found guilty, we're not going to play them again."
Yep.
And they didn't put
Yeah.
him back on until there was an acquittal.
hmm
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's see, a third woman claims that Brand sexually assaulted her while she worked with him in Los Angeles. She alleges she repeatedly told Brand to get off her, and when he eventually relented, he flipped and was super angry. She says he threatened to take legal action if she told anyone else about her allegation. That's the woman where she told a friend what had happened. That got back to Brand, and he said, right, if you're going to claim sexual assault, then I need to know because I'm going to get the lawyers involved.
Yep, I'm coming after you type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the fourth woman has alleged being sexually assaulted by Brand in the UK and him being physically and emotionally abusive towards her. This week, another woman also accused Brand of exposing himself to her and then laughing about it minutes later on his BBC radio show in 2008. YouTube has suspended Brand's channels from making money from adverts for violating its creator responsibility policy. It said it was taking action to protect its users. In recent years, he has repositioned himself, posting regular videos about spirituality, anti-establishment politics, and, recently, UFOs to his online followers.
Yeah. Does it not talk about the... Wait, did it say about anti-vax conspiracies?
No, the column doesn't mention the anti-vax conspiracy theories, but we all know that he posts them. I mean, he's regularly spoken about them. He's regularly spoken about how ivermectin is a viable cure for COVID.
Well, I mean, to be honest with
That
you,
means you're newt. I got better.
I mean, because there's other channels that promote that sort of stuff, like, for example, Trigonometry, a channel
Rogan.
Yeah, exactly. All of them still promote this anti-vax shit, and I don't know how they don't get demonetized when they do it. It's like come on, and if you
their whole channel might not get demonetized, but that video
will.
That video might yellow.
Yeah.
The yellow symbol, because anyone that talks about that kind of stuff, even if they've got legitimate evidence, is usually just treated as we don't want anything to do with this. That tends to
there's no legitimate evidence though for ivermectin and COVID.
No, there is. I'm just, but what I'm saying is, you could be talking the truth, like that UFOs planted COVID. No, you could be talking about the truth, the actual facts of COVID by, not the anti-vax crowd, the normal crowd.
All right, yeah, absolutely.
Get,
or even if we were to play a video from somebody, let's say Joe Rogan, talking about ivermectin, and we were to just pick it apart and say, well, no, here's studies X, Y, and Z that say that's restricted. Wrong. We'd still be restricted. Yeah.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
Yeah. It's because we got to look. It's because we look the other way. That's what they're doing.
They're YouTube are just like, well, whatever. We're washing our hands with it because we don't want advertisers.
It ain't on us. We don't want it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm amazed though that none of the channels that are out there publicly defending Brand are being demonetized.
I'm not surprised though.
I'm not shocked. I'm
just
not surprised, to be honest.
I guarantee, like GB News and even all these commentators, on the alt-right who are defending Brand, not one of them is going to suffer for this. If Brand winds up in court and he is prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, found guilty, I guarantee not one of these channels is going to suffer for it. It'll be like every other case in human history. I mean, COVID, look at how many people got that wrong. People like Toby Young, who and Dan Wooten.
Yep.
The Illuminati got to him now. Yep. Pfizer getting to him, even though he's not arguing against Pfizer. But
Agent Smith.
Yep.
Again, look at all the people who got COVID wrong. Toby Young, Melanie Phillips, Dan Wooten. These are all people who put out things like the Great Barrington Declaration as being real, despite the fact that the Great Barrington Declaration was an absolute piece of shit petition, which was signed by people with absolutely no relevant medical qualifications, and even then, other signatories to it were fucking jokes. I mean, some of the names that were on there was Dr. Johnny Bananas. That was the one that that was the one that gathered a lot of attention about, how much of a joke this petition was. There was Dr. Person fake name. There was Dr. Harold Shipman. And of course, at the time, there was Professor Dominic Cummings of Durham University.
Dominic Cummings?
Yeah, Professor Dominic Cummings of Durham University was a signatory to the Great Barrington Declaration that
my God.
lockdowns were causing more harm than good. But again, there are people who still promote that thing as being legitimate, which it wasn't. I mean, Melanie Phillips should have had a career ended multiple times. I mean, she got MMR and autism wrong. She was in the manifesto of Anders Breivik, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
she's still going.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, these people just don't go away. They don't suffer any consequences
don't.
when they are
No.
so horrifically wrong on issues like this.
No. The only time, and this is not conspiratorial, the only time they will ever go away is if they just simply say Israel's an apartheid state. Then you'll be like, we can't have this. And they'll come down on them like a fucking ton of bricks, because we've seen.
Well, you're talking about people on the left wing, people who actually support rights for Palestine, whereas the alt right typically do not.
No, they do not. But they're very anti-Semitic, but they still wouldn't call out Israel. That they've just broadly they just don't even care about the amount of insane anti-Semitic rhetoric within their content. They're like, yeah, we don't care as long as you don't call out the country and call us an apartheid state and stick up for Palestinians. We'll let you say what you want, because even you being an anti-Semite, you're still an establishment stooge for us. But the minute you call to power, then we'll come down on you. So Russell Brand, the people defending Russell Brand, fuck all's going to happen to them. Fuck all. We live in a political climate where, there is just way too many that will just happily defend the shittiest people on the planet. And so it's impossible to get cancelled. As much as you say you want to get, they're all out to cancel me. The only people that have been cancelled are the ones that have ended up in prison.
Yeah.
Like everyone else that says they're cancelled is going on fucking every bloody news channel, is writing books about being cancelled, and has their own YouTube channel, TikTok, and all this, talking about being cancelled. And they're like, motherfucker, you've been saying you've been cancelled for the last 5 years, and yet here you are, you're still talking about it. And also, I want to touch on something 2 hours in, but I want to touch on something with Russell Brand, in that, the people that are coming out saying, they're going after him now. They're trying to silence him because he's a threat to the establishment and because of his political views and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, no. Let's be very clear. He's a useful idiot for the establishment, because he is just basically peddling the same crap that causes a wonderful distraction for the ruling class to carry on doing the shit that they do, while you're all sitting there talking about conspiracies and arguing amongst each other. We're just going off here and passing laws that are restricting your freedoms more and making more money for us. And you're all here sitting there. So no, people like Brand are not a threat to the establishment, not even remotely.
Let's be blunt. His audience is minuscule in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, 6.5 million might be big for YouTube, but
to the rest of the world, the rest of the world's like, ha ha ha.
But
exactly.
And that's across the English-speaking world, though. So that would be predominantly America, Canada, Britain, Australia.
Yeah.
And really, he's not having any major impact. He's not a threat to the establishment. In fact, he's just basically a minor nuisance, like, say, Alex Jones was at one point.
Yeah, he's a tick. That's all he is. He's just a tick.
This is it. Like, people like him aren't a threat to the establishment. You had, things like Mint Press News and I think Midwest Media and Momentum and things like that are literally having their channels shut down on TikTok just for posting legitimate facts about things and atrocities caused by governments. Okay, that's what happens when you're a threat to the establishment. They shut your channel down. They shut you down. They silence you.
That's because that's because you know things they don't want you to know.
Exactly. They don't want you. They don't want people knowing the actual truth of what the brutalities caused by the imperial powers. That's what they shut down. They don't shut down somebody peddling conspiracy theories that are made up by the very fucking people that pump those conspiracies out there because they're just a wonderful distraction for everyone to get caught up in.
Yeah.
So no, brand is not. And I know we've talked a lot about the right defending him, but I mentioned on Facebook the other day about there was quite a few left wingers that I followed that were
Not that
defending.
many. I mean, you maybe
No.
follow a few, but there's not that many.
No, there isn't that many, but that few was quite disheartening because you could tell they didn't watch the documentary or read the article. They just came out in defense of Brand. And the difference is, though, when I was able to break it down with at least two of the people that I talked with, they kind of got they understood it. You know, that's the difference in mentality, is to say, like, look, let's be very clear. Russell Brand is not a threat to the establishment. The minute you start going down conspiracy theory routes, you're just a useful idiot to them. If he was a legitimate threat, they would have gotten him back when he first exploded onto the scene with his anti-establishment rhetoric. Okay, but they didn't get him back then. Why would they get him now? You know, they could have easily shut him down back then, but they didn't. So you've got to understand, and then also you've got to understand the British justice system and how it treats victims of sexual assault and all this kind of stuff. So eventually they got it. But in the grand scheme of things, we're talking about, on a scale of, let's say, you know, this is the left wing that are defending Russell Brand, add 6 million other fingers. That's the right wing defending Russell Brand. So, but it's still disheartening to see, regardless of how minuscule the number is.
Yep.
The one other thing I think really the last thing I want to touch on, at least from my perspective, is the right wing. One of the things they're doing right now to try and defend Brand is guilt by association. They're talking about how, look at the left, you know, doing all these reports about Brand and proclaiming him guilty, and here's Owen Jones with him on a panel, or, you know, he was getting invited on to Question Time. Well, again, I don't think anybody in the political sphere knew what was going on, for one. Owen Jones has also addressed the fact that, he had the photo of him with Brand. That was in his capacity working at The Guardian. It was an event he was hosting, and he was doing it in his capacity as an employee of The Guardian. But in the meantime, if the likes of Toby Young and Piers Morgan, who are the two I've really heard throwing around guilt by association, you know, people like who were friendly with Russell Brand this whole time, and, you know, when he was committing during the years he was committing these acts that he was accused of, we can look back at some of the people that Piers Morgan and Toby Young used to associate with. Toby Young, Owen Jones published photographs of Toby Young where he was with Ghislaine Maxwell, and they had their arms around each other at a party. Piers Morgan, again, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Gary Glitter. Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure Toby Young was at a fucking party with, like, all the you know, the Murdochs and all your Farages and all this kind of shit. I know that's not the same kind of.
But if you want to talk about them, if you want to talk about people palling around with people who were eventually found guilty for horrendous sexual crimes, I mean, again, Piers Morgan has got photos with Gary Glitter and with Ghislaine Maxwell.
And don't forget the publicist as well. Max Clifford.
Max Clifford, yes.
It's got pictures with Max Clifford, who, you know, he went down for his shit. Did he die in the end? I think he died, didn't he?
Is he dead or?
Yes, he is.
Max Clifford is dead. Yeah,
he died in 2021.
Yeah, thank you very much, Gary.
Yes. I think he got convicted, and I think he did a little bit of jail time, but he died.
It was 2017. Max Clifford died.
Oh,
there you go. 2017. Fucking hell, already. He got taken down. I think it was during the whole Me Too movement that he got taken down.
It was before that.
Or was it before that?
Was it?
It was before that. Yeah, because there was a lot of him. It was him.
2012. He was arrested. It was part of Operation U-Tree that got.
Oh, the U-Tree. Yeah, fuck. So it was after the
Jimmy Savile.
The Savile shit. Yeah.
Operation U-Tree, which for anyone not familiar with that was set up after everything came out about Jimmy Savile. So that was used to basically to investigate and eventually convict a number of pedophiles and people who committed sexual assault who were involved in the media. So they got Max Clifford, they got Stuart Hall, again they got Rolf Harris.
David Travis.
Did U-Tree get what's his name? The guy from The Thick of It.
No, he was before that.
No, he was way before that.
Right.
It was
Yeah, he
David
was
Lee
way
Travis.
before that.
David Lee Travis got done. I can't remember who else it was.
Yeah,
so,
can't remember who else, but-
those are the big ones that I can remember.
yeah.
But the thing is with all this is hopefully it has the same sort of cascading effect that more people in comedy or whatever.
Chris
who are on
Langham,
comedy-
that was it.
Yeah, Chris Langham, sorry, that was it.
Yeah, so I'm just hoping that this whole thing can be a cascade effect where more people are more comfortable speaking out about problematic people in comedy or in entertainment in general.
Well, again, the problem is, which we addressed really almost at the beginning of this podcast, libel laws.
Yeah.
There's a very strong possibility that you would be sued into oblivion if you spoke out against these people. So again, it's all well and good for certain comedians and certain pundits who are doing the rounds of media appearances right now and saying, well, it's the responsibility of men to speak out, or it's the responsibility of people who know about these allegations to speak out. Well, again, do you want to be the one that takes the risk to lose everything?
Yeah, I mean, Dan Sloss had great grounds to speak out about it when his friend was one of the ones that got sexually assaulted by Russell Brand.
And same with
he
Catherine
knew he
Ryan.
couldn't.
Again,
And
Catherine Ryan has never named him publicly. And
No.
again, it's for that exact reason. She knows this stuff went on, but she couldn't say
Yeah.
anything because she was at risk of losing absolutely everything.
And the thing is, for her, it would still be like practically impossible to prove. This is the sad reality. Unless her friend kind of comes forward with the evidence, and that's the kind of risk you run. And so, I mean, the laws are there to kind of protect for a reason. But fucking hell, when there's a snowball effect and still nothing's been looked into, But Channel 4 and BBC were the ones that had the money and the power to look into everything. And they didn't. They were just like, well, you know what? We'll put some clauses in the contract to say, hey, keep an eye out for this guy. He's a bit of a pest. And that's as far as we're going to go. And that's why they're now all investigating themselves. Because, they want to see what measures they could have taken. And but we're doing this around again. This has happened so many times with so many celebs.
Channel 4 has kind of passed the buck slightly when it comes to his time on their network, because a lot of this stuff really fell under the purview of the production company Endemol.
Oh right, yeah, and the Big Brother's Big Mouth.
Because they were the ones that produced the Big Brother programming.
Yeah.
So, and they were the ones that put in the contract that Russell Brand was not to have sexual contact with any of the staff who were working on the show.
Yeah, that's why he targeted the audience instead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, hello, you could have gone that bit further, but yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, is that it on Brand? I think we've.
Yeah, I think we've covered that more.
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything more to cover. It'll be interesting again what more comes out, because we held off from doing this podcast.
I wanted to jump on early, but no, the guys recommended no. Let's wait till Friday.
If the reason we've not spoken about this sooner, Ginger Greek wanted to jump on it as soon as the story came out. He wanted to come on. What was it, on Sunday? You were saying about coming out.
Yeah,
and I think I was the one that suggested that we don't, and we just wait, because there's probably going to be a lot more to come out.
Yeah,
and
which was the right move. Yeah.
There has, and I think it was probably the right call, because we've been able to discuss it all in one go now.
Well, and you've done an amazing job in gathering all the information and the evidence, William. So kudos to you, mate. Big round of applause.
Well, I really don't want to accept the kudos for that, but I appreciate the fact that we have been able to cover pretty much all of it that has come out in one go. So we're not just bombarding the NerdTube feed with
so it would have been Sunday, then update,
update Monday, update Tuesday. We'd probably be doing updates every day with the amount of stuff that has come out since. I think this is probably the better forum to do it on, where we wait for all the facts to come out over the course of the week, and we just discuss it all in one go. And that will probably be the same again next week if more comes out. And I suspect more probably will come out in the ensuing week. We will probably address it then. And at least that way as well, it's not going to be about it's not going to be over 2 hours talking about Russell Brand by that point, because the majority of it has come out now.
Yeah,
I
and we
think
can refer back to this video.
We can refer back to this one for certain talking points, and I appreciate the fact that everyone pretty much agreed. Let's just wait, and we've looked at everything that's come out, and we've discussed it in quite an open forum like this.
Yeah, we've gone into great. We've covered. I mean, again, Shredder, you've thanks to you, covered all the bases of everything that's happened up to now, and this is why I knew that this Friday, because of that, this was going to be a different kind of stream where it was going to be very heavy on the Russell Brand stuff. Look, we've done 2 hours and 10 minutes just talking about Russell Brand, and I know now we're going to move on to Sneako, and then we'll just WWE, and then if anyone's still got any energy left, talk about whatever they want after the fact. So moving on with Brand, but it's still within the fucking same environment, sadly, of just dangerous right-wing rhetoric and actually, well, misogyny.
Dangerous attitudes
Misogyny.
towards women,
Yes.
trans people,
Misogyny,
gay people,
yes,
you name it.
yes. So Zam, is there anything you want to say before I move on to Sneako while you're back in? I'm just using you as an excuse so I can get the clip.
We already mentioned Boba, didn't we?
Yeah.
Briefly, but we did mention Lauren Boba, and right-wing hypocrisy just generally is something that really pisses me off. A lot of them are defending, a lot of right-wingers are defending Lauren Boba by saying that what she did was in a dark place and kids can't see her doing what she did in the first place, but they have no room to defend her when it comes to her vaping in front of a pregnant woman being pro-life. They don't want to basically challenge the hypocrisy questions regarding her saying that she is, family values while she's jerking off her boyfriend while still married, going through a divorce, at this particular moment in time, and also looking like a dog's dinner too. I mean, very, very Christian of her,
Do you feel any sympathy towards the fact that they broke up after the first date?
I'm devastated. I thought it could have been the next Charles and Diana.
He got his leg over it. But
I did find it quite funny that he runs a bar which did drag events.
Say that again?
Yeah.
The man that Lauren Boebert went to see the
bar.
Beetlejuice musical, he runs a bar that did drag events.
Yeah.
And that's Lauren Boebert, who calls all drag queens groomers and pedophiles. And
I don't know how Colorado.
And she went on a date with somebody who runs drag events in a bar.
I don't know how Coloradans are going to sleep
Democrat.
at night and what we're going to do. Fuck this shit. Why are we talking?
Yeah,
about
I mean, Jose, this is your
Yeah.
congresswoman, isn't
Yep.
it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You're going to vote for her now after that?
Fuck no. I never have. I never will.
Okay.
But I've got to say, kudos to her to jerking him off in public, though.
Yeah. Hey, no judgments here.
Yeah, but here's the
honestly,
thing, as I mentioned on
she-
Wednesday, at least Pee Wee Herman had the decency to do it in an adult theater.
Yeah, well, there were no kids. Yeah.
Yeah, and, look, I think she only dumped him because people found out she was dating a Democrat, and obviously the fact that he had drag events. I think that was.
Well,
the
it was only a
reason
first.
why,
It was
not
allegedly
because
a
she
first
fucking tipped
date.
him off. Yeah, but still, I think the fact that he had drag events and he's a Democrat was enough of a reason when it became public for her to dump him, first date or not. And
Yeah,
it wasn't
again, there'll
that
be no
he
repercussions
fucking jerked him
because
off.
she's a
Yeah.
useful
And
idiot
by the
for
way,
the MAGA crowd.
just to make sure people understand that maybe funneling your partner maybe an event like that is not necessarily the wisest thing to do in a darkened, even if it's in a darkened environment. But I don't think it's not too bad what she did, but at the same time, you got to not be a hypocrite. If you're totally cool with what she did and you stand by Lauren Boebert, then you obviously don't give a shit about family values.
If
You
she
don't get
wasn't
to
a
call
hypocrite,
You don't get to call drag queens and trans people degenerates and perverts who are out to groom children and commit sexual acts in front of children while you do it in front of children.
that's the issue. If she was none of that, and just a couple that got a little bit frisky at a theater, nobody would care. Like,
yeah, no one would give a fuck.
Shit.
Bill Clinton was getting his knob slobbed, and didn't nobody say shit.
Yeah, and the funny thing is the first news that broke out with her was that she was just being like, I'm a main character type person in the theater, singing along too loudly, vaping in front of a pregnant woman, and all this. Then the jerking off the boyfriend stuff came out after the fact.
Yeah.
So
but
if she'd have
like
just been quiet, so go on, Zam.
No, but she's using a camera phone, flash photography. So I don't think people appreciate that. You shouldn't be like sticking your camera out, flashing, taking pictures with flash photography because it affects the performers on stage. That's why they ban that shit.
Yeah, they tell you here, whenever you go to theater, you are not supposed to have your phones out. They ban all that shit.
No flash photography, no phones out. Yeah, nothing. Yeah.
And then on OAN or Newsmax, whatever the fuck she was on, they're like, they're mocking the fact that she took pictures and stuff like that, playing it down like it's not a big deal. But aren't you the law and order party and all of that sort of stuff?
It is a big deal when your rhetoric is a danger to marginalized groups, and you're coming out and saying, yeah, but I could do it because I'm, fuck you. It's one rule for me and one rule for you lot, kind of thing, and it's this hypocrisy that
pregnant woman.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to play the
calling yourself pro-life.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Sneako. For those that aren't aware who Sneako is, Sneako, he's been around for a long time, as a teenager.
I have no clue who he is.
Yeah, and again, he started off with like quite progressive views as a young teenager, like 13, 14. He was talking a lot about the kind of wars and all this kind of stuff when he kind of started off, and he was just a game streamer and all this kind of stuff. And then he really kind of hit the stratosphere when he essentially cucked to his girlfriend. He was going out with somebody that wanted to have sex with other people, and he obviously didn't like it and all this kind of stuff. And my brain is trailed off now. Shredder, do you remember the rest of it?
Yeah, he's an Andrew Tate clone basically nowadays.
Admittedly, I thought when y'all first brought him up, I thought, was this motherfucker like a head clone at a clown school or something? Because that's what the fuck it sounds like his name is.
Yeah, Sneako these days is largely an Andrew Tate clone, fanboy.
Oh, okay.
And a big Adolf Hitler admirer.
And he's also a big fan of the movie Cuties.
Yes, he's defended it.
Yeah. There's actually one Sam's previously brought up as well, where he hit on a pair of 14-year-olds.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep. And that, and the fact, and also he hangs around with Nick Fuentes, who is publicly.
Yep.
He's a white nationalist.
Gonna about interracial relationships, and they should be banned. While Sneako himself is a product of an interracial relationship.
We'll ban them, but
race,
don't ban mine.
Sneako's just whatever, man. Money kind of thing. And so,
okay.
So after all this, and because of the results of what happened with his girlfriend, he just exploded as a huge Andrew Tate 2.0, massive misogynist and white supremacist. Big red pill, fucking
homophobe.
Everything, you name it, he's talked about it and all this kind of shit. And of course, people like him who are like supposedly edgy with their content as a young audience. And as a result, at a convention just the other couple of days ago,
Miami Marlins game.
Sorry,
he was attending a Miami Marlins game.
So it wasn't a convention; it was just a baseball game then.
Yeah, some young fans met him at a Miami Marlins game and got their photo with him.
Right, and so I have the video of that, and just warning off the bat that the material, the shit you're going to hear the kids say is just not very nice. So let me just bring that up.
Well, people have sat through 2 hours of us discussing, Russell Brand. I think they can handle.
I think they can handle this, but it's just heartbreaking when you see it coming from kids.
Andrew Tate. Fuck the woman.
What? No, wait. We love women.
But not like transgenders.
Yes, sir. We love everybody. No.
All gays should die.
Yeah, preach. What have I done?
Can I get in the video? Fucking talk. Can I get in the video?
Yeah. Talk to him.
Yo, what's up?
There you go.
Tell me you're a hypocrite without telling me you're a hypocrite.
Fuck the women, kill the gays. Fuck
Well, right
the
off the bat,
transgenders.
at the very, very start, I mean, you hear the kids saying Andrew Tate.
Yeah, Andrew Tate. And what are they? Those kids are like 12 to 13 years old.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is the stuff that that's grooming. This is grooming. This is grooming.
It's
You are
literal
grooming
evidence.
these kids. What is the result of your attitude being like that? What if somebody in their school is gay or trans? What is you think the result's going to be? Oh, I'm going to accept you with loving arms, or is it going to be this motherfucker is evil? Let's beat the shit out of them. You know, I wonder
also
which
think
way
about
they're
the
going to
way-
go.
Think about
And
the way they'll
this is
probably treat girls in their
acceptable.
class.
Yeah, I was just going to say that because I guarantee. Imagine if one of us a girl
Oh,
on a
and the
date,
women.
she says,
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, the girls in the class as well.
imagine
Their
if
attitude
one
towards
of them
girls.
asks a girl out, she says no. What the fuck are they going to do?
Mhm.
And it's not going to end well. I mean, these people don't understand the rhetoric they have an impact. Or if they don't care.
Yeah, so
don't
right,
care.
let's break down what we heard from those kids. So there was Andrew Tate, there was fuck the women. There was
Kill
when
the
Sneako
gays.
said, no, we like women. It says, yeah, but we hate the gays.
And the
And
transgenders.
transgenders should die.
Yeah.
And Sneako says, what have I done? And it's not even like, he's realized it's not a case like
Yeah, it's
he's
a playful
realized,
manner
like, what
that
the
he
fuck
said
he's
that
done.
shit.
It's a playful
Yeah.
manner. He knows what he's done. He knows that where this rhetoric's come from. 'cause
Yeah,
it's come
you're a
from his
corrupt son
fucking
of a
channel.
bitch. Yeah.
Yeah,
you're-
of course.
And Sneako took to Twitter shortly after this and addressed it.
Yes,
He blamed it
and-
on pride flag. He blamed it on rainbow
I
flags. being
got the
imprisoned.
comment by the way, Shred. I got the exact comment here on Twitter. I'm just
Okay.
looking at
Oh, lovely. Thank you,
He
Sam. I
wrote-
was
what he
going to
wrote.
go and find it.
They wrote, they are children and obviously joking. This is how I was at 12. But if it sounds egregious, I can never say egregious to you, blame the rainbow flags in their classrooms, blame the media for emasculating men. It's your fault for forcing an obvious agenda, not these kids. Boys will be boys. Mate, they are worshipping you, you fucking twat, and you want to blame the rainbow flag.
No,
Shit.
motherfucker, it's not all this bullshit. It's the shit that you were spewed, and you make it think that it's okay for you to say the
It's-
shit you say.
Is Sneako in Florida?
I believe so.
If he's based in Florida, then they will not have been emasculated in classes because they've banned all that shit in classrooms.
Yeah.
And it's been long enough where those kids wouldn't have even fucking noticed, kind of thing. So that is just a pathetic defense, and it's just take some fucking responsibility. This is what annoys me is they never take responsibility, but they want everyone else to take responsibility
Yep.
for their actions when it's stuff that's basically
then-
woke.
But then when
And,
something happens to them, I'm the victim. Like when they get called out, oh, no,
Always.
I'm the victim.
Always, I'm
Yeah.
the victim here. Everyone else is to blame. It's not me. It's you. And, it's like I pray that those kids grow up eventually and be like, what the fuck was I talking about?
I hope to fucking Christ the parents of those kids have seen the video, because
Yeah.
here's the thing. You could raise, a kid to respect women, to, be respectful and tolerant of gay people and trans people. They go to one fucking friend's house who's got unrestricted, unmonitored access to the internet. They pull up videos by Sneako, by Andrew Tate, by the Quartering, by any other fucking grifter, hate-mongering grifters, and they hear all this shit.
Yep.
But this stuff isn't even new. This stuff has been going on YouTube for, as long as I've been on
Long
the
time.
site.
But since
Yeah.
YouTube's been around.
Yeah. I mean, there was a meme that did the rounds. It was, I ruined an entire generation of teenage boys starter pack. And it was pictures of PewDiePie, Sargon, Joe Rogan, and The Amazing Atheist.
Yeah.
And, they had very fucking poisonous views when it came to women. I mean, we've been speaking about Russel Brand. The Amazing Atheist has videos still up on his channel with hundreds of thousands, in some cases over 1 million views, proclaiming that, well, there is something worse than rape, and that's being falsely accused of rape.
Yeah, I mean, we all have a history with the amazing atheists. Like he blocked me when I called him out on some of his bullshit. So yeah, I'm just that kind of toxic environment, that group that he was around, they had incredibly toxic views. But don't forget, like Onision and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, that meme probably still is valid. The only face that would still probably be on it from that era I would say is probably Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about people on YouTube who've ruined an entire generation of teenage boys, you've got Joe Rogan. I would say, well, not even just YouTube, but across all of social media and the internet, you've got Joe Rogan, Jordan Peterson, Sneako, Andrew Tate, Elon Musk, and I would say Donald Trump too.
Aiden Ross.
Yeah.
Aiden Ross, I'll throw in there. My God, that guy's fucking stupid. It's unbelievable how popular he is. 3.5 million of subscribers, and the guy is thick as shit.
Yeah. Zam, you got something there you want to show?
Oh, yes. I think it's time for some right-wing infighting. And in the left corner, we have Just Pearly Sings. And in the right corner, we have
she's just
Matt Wall.
Does this anything to do with Sneako?
This isn't to do with Sneako, though.
Beautiful.
We're talking about Sneako. Hang on.
Listen,
but mind you, we're done.
So for you.
No, hang on, Sam. Hang on. Slow down.
Oh, sorry.
I've got nothing much else to say on Sneako myself.
I have not a clue who he is.
I got something to say. Like the fact that he has converted to Islam, and him and Andrew Tate have both converted to Islam, and they still act like like Chads, and it's fun in a way because Islam is not just about women wearing burqas and stuff like that. Men have to be kind of repressed themselves in how they behave and who they are as people.
Yeah, modesty is across the board. It's not just for women.
Yeah, and he's still fucking around. He's still fucking. He's still flashing his fucking wealth and shit like that. He's doing all the things you're not really supposed to be doing as a Muslim, and
I guarantee you they don't give to charity either.
Oh yeah, I mean, apparently Andrew Tate has started a charity foundation, but I just think he's just doing stuff like that to cover his ass and shit like that. But the point is that it's just a way. I mean, the things they like about Islam is the sort of misogyny that is associated with Islam, and that's what what generally appeals to them, and that's more of a traditional thing, not necessarily to do with the religion. It's always about how religion is portrayed, but nevertheless, he's not fucking remotely Muslim. It's just a thing he's doing. He's obviously following his boy Andrew fucking Tate. I don't know how his fucking other boy Nick Fuentes will feel about him being a fucking Muslim. I mean.
Well, I think a large part of the whole thing there with Tate and Sneako converting to Islam, part of it is probably just because it gives them justification for their prejudice. It gives them carte blanche to say, well, it's my religion that entitles me to be this prejudiced piece of shit. Or part of me also thinks it's the whole reason that people become born again Christians. It's that nobody on this mortal earth wants to talk to you anymore, so you find an excuse to talk to God instead.
And when you find God, that usually means that no one wants anything to do with you.
Exactly.
Oh, listen, some of the worst fucking people I've ever met in my life are born again Christians. They are just basically they are fucking narcissistic sociopaths that basically had a mental breakdown, and instead of trying to fix themselves, they used religion as a cover to carry on with their shitty behavior. They don't improve. They try to say, "Oh, okay, I don't do the drugs and the alcohol anymore." Yeah, but you're still a piece of shit towards women, and that's the one that gets me the most. Like, especially within the Greek community, like some of the ones that kind of leave the Orthodox Church and then go off and find because there's a huge number of Jehovah's Witnesses that are basically are from Greek and Cypriot communities, because they've had their breakdown and they've found this kind of cult and all this, and it's just an excuse for them to carry on being a really shitty human being, and they can use the more cult status or the more extreme version of their born againness to carry on being misogynistic or just horrible people.
Well said.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah. Okay. So Zamo, round 1, baby. Bring up the
As
fights.
I said,
Yeah.
okay,
All
this
yours,
is,
mate.
by the way, whilst I was looking for the Sneako comment, I came across this and I thought, holy shit, this is fresh off the fucking press. So
this
let's
just happened
read
now.
it, shall we? That this,
No,
I think so, because
first you have to read Matt Walsh's
You have to read
response,
Walsh's and then read the
and then
okay.
Pearl's.
So Matt Walsh basically had 6 kids and married for over a decade. Pretty sure I understand marriage and family life a lot better than you, Pearl. And Pearl, so I think Matt Walsh is obviously responding to something Pearl said previously, but
Yeah, he would have been.
this is the response to Pearl's comment. The issue you're also going to get with tradcons is they are typically above average in some way. They live a different reality. Tall, wealthy men, successful, are better able to recover after a divorce. It's the average men, truck drivers, construction workers, the plumbers that are financially ruined and contemplate suicide. Men are 8 times more likely to commit suicide after divorce. So you get these rich men encouraging men to sign up for marriage without warning them of any of the risks. Well, this sounds very unusual of Pearl, by the way, but they have spent little to no time listening to what these men have gone through, and their solution is just pick a good woman. They have no idea how much a woman changes during a divorce, and then typically there's nothing that the man could have done. I don't know.
They're both pretty
She's
shitty
still-
takes, if we're honest.
They're really
Yeah.
shitty takes because she's still defending men in this.
Yeah, no doubt.
She's still like basically saying that women are the bad people and men suffer the most out of a divorce and all this kind of shit.
Yeah, I mean, she's one of those people that
Independent
said that
divorce.
she doesn't want no fault divorce to even exist.
Yeah,
I mean,
And she
look
wants
who
to
we've
ban
got in the
women from
replies. We got
voting.
people like fucking Baked Alaska.
yeah.
Stop speaking for
What's
men
she
is
say?
really annoying. Your girl boss energy is not wanted in this space. Then I probably wouldn't have more influence than you if that were the case. Oh,
Yeah, get the popcorn,
Show
kids. This is
replies.
just,
Click on show replies.
if you just want like pure comedy, all you have to do is just read a Twitter thread and just laugh
Yes,
your ass off.
And in this case, it's basically just a
You
case
don't,
of
I'm
let
a-
them fight.
Yeah.
They're both
You don't, I'm a
ultra
real-
shitty takes.
Wait, Zamza. People are talking. Go on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
I mean,
you're done.
Because divorces are mainly based upon patriarchal norms, and women get cheating out of it, and so do men because of patriarchal. So both.
I always laugh my ass off when they call themselves patriots. I just lose it. I don't know why. I just find that to be
Yeah, go on,
some of
Zam.
the
You want to read the
funniest
rest
shit.
of it?
By the way, I need to have a baked Alaska in my life. I've never tried one. Regardless, you don't. I'm a real American patriot who did prison time for my beliefs. He, your astro turfed walking contradiction, complaining all day on the internet, and it's annoying. Stop speaking for men. We don't want you to speak for us. Sorry to hear about the prison time. I never heard of you, but I'm not sure how you feel so strongly about someone you've never met or had a conversation with. There's actually quite a few men who support what I do. There's something about interviewing guys that have been absolutely ruined by family court changes your point of view quite a bit. I feel strongly, and Baked Alaska responds, I feel strongly because you're showing up on my timeline all day contradicting yourself. You say women shouldn't vote, then girl boss at men all day. Make it make sense, laughing my ass off. Of course, men have immense struggles, but don't ruin it by being disingenuous. Pearl responds, there's actually been female political movements way before women have voted, so this isn't a new thing. I didn't realize girl bossing was tweeting. Laugh out loud. I give my opinions and people either or disagree. I think she missed out the word agree. I've interviewed men that have lost everything on the brink of suicide, all because they had a child with a woman. Change your point of view quite a bit. So it keeps going. Interviewing a man doesn't give you a dick and balls sorry opera. You think you know what men go through, but you have no clue. The only way forward is to create strong families. Debate me about it if you're so certain in your beliefs. Is the bar for a dick and balls tweeting? Laugh out loud. men used to go to war. I've interviewed judges, divorce lawyers, execs, and lots of divorced men. I don't believe strong families come back until the divorce laws change. I have seen the evidence of the contrary. I didn't
she's such a
realize this
grifter.
was a standard procedure in asking for collaboration. Laugh out loud. That's kind of. I mean, with this one guy who chimes in, the bar for dick and balls is having a dick and balls. You can interview every man on the planet. It'll give you insight, but it will never give you the truth.
Just kill it now. This is fucking painful and pathetic.
Yeah, this is starting to hurt.
For anyone unaware who Baked Alaska is, by the way, earlier this year he wound up sentenced to 2 months in prison for his part in the January 6th attack.
Suck it.
Oh yeah, yes.
He broke into the Capitol. He tried, he live streamed it.
Yeah.
Fucking moron basically gave the prosecution all the evidence they needed. He live streamed it, so he wound up getting sentenced to 2 months in prison.
This is the thing, though. Like, this is the thing because someone like Pearl would be like fawning over someone like Matt Walsh and loving all the shit he has to say, all the misogyny because it works for her. I do truly believe that Pearl doesn't want women not to vote because it would benefit her. All the things she says she's against women. She wouldn't want that to happen because it would be anti-beneficial against her. She just says it for the sake of saying it and hoping it wouldn't fucking happen.
Let's put it this way: she's a grifter. She's a con artist.
She's one of the people who does not fucking believe a word of the stuff she's saying.
Absolutely nothing.
That was evident. That was evident when she got interviewed and called out on it by Ethan Klein.
Yeah, absolutely. And even when Piers Morgan like had finished like getting. Milking her for ratings. As soon as he was done with her, he then called her out and exposed her for her lies as well. So she's full of shit. Like, don't believe anything she says, and it's very easy to be like a fucking troll. Let's be honest.
But the interesting thing is I would like to hopefully find out through other people within social media how she got on Matt Walsh's bad side. Because you thought them two would be in lockstep, to tell you the truth, the way she talks about women. So it'll be interesting to see what got them to conflict in the first place.
Well, click on her profile to see what she says that warrants a response from Matt Walsh. You do that while we're yeah, I mean, these fucking people, they're just like something else. But I suppose it's great content. It's great content for us.
This is nothing but content for me. I just sit here and watch people scream and yell at each other. I'm like, all right, y'all do y'all. I'll be sitting there eating my popcorn.
Yeah, and this will also be prime content for channels like the or Vosh or Hasanabi.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, don't get me started on Vosh as well. Fucking another nonce.
All right. What else have we got to talk about?
You don't like Vosh?
No, I don't like Vosh at all.
We need to get into wrestling, yo. Because breaking news just happened. Matt Riddle is out.
Hey!
Yep.
He's been released at last.
He's been released.
It's a matter of time. Okay.
Yeah, just wanted to inform everyone that I'm no longer with WWE. Thank you for the memories and opportunities. Also, thank you to all the fans for the support and love you give me every time I go out to the ring.
I'll pop out so Jose's not from.
Well, hang on. Has there been an actual press release from WWE, or is this another case of
this is his official Twitter account?
All right, because Donald Trump Jr. tweeted on his official Twitter account that Trump had died. So, I'm just wondering if there's been any official. Yeah, he got hacked, but I'm just wondering if there's been an official release by WWE at this point.
Yeah, let's find out. Because according to Matt Riddle's Twitter account, he says he's out. But let's.
Oh, Matt Riddle.
And I knew this was going to happen. I called it.
I'm like, on TV often recently.
Yeah. Okay, Matt Riddle is no longer with them. And I figured it was going to happen. Yep.
I'm not surprised that this is going to happen. Like, the UFC fucking hate him.
Mm-hmm.
They hate him. Yeah. If you've heard what the things that they have to say about him, that's why he was first on my list to get released as soon as the deal went through.
Yep.
So I'm like, they just hate him because they think he's just an idiot. He just doesn't have a brain and he does really stupid things. And so this doesn't surprise me at all.
I'm not shocked. I'm just shocked it took this long. I thought he would have got fired like a week or two ago.
I agree.
So far then. So Matt Riddle's been added to the list. So that means the list so far is Matt Riddle, Dolph Ziggler, Mustafa Ali, Elias, Shelton Benjamin, Rick Books, Riddick Moss, Emma, Aaliyah, Top Dollar,
Yep.
Dana Brooke,
Mhm.
Mansoor,
Mhm.
Mace,
Yep.
Quincy Elliott,
Yep.
Yep.
Shanky,
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Bryson Montana,
Yep.
Yep.
Yulissa Leon, Daba
Yep.
Kato,
Yep.
Mhm.
Kevin Ventura Cortez,
Mhm.
Alexis Gray, and Daniel MacArthur.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. A lot of those other ones were just like, low developmental in NXT and all of that.
Yeah.
Oh, there's two more. Sorry, there's Ike Manjiro. He was released on Thursday.
Yeah, the
Okay.
Japanese
And
guy.
Brooklyn Barlow.
And Brooklyn. I was going to ask if you mentioned Brooklyn Barlow.
Yeah, Brooklyn Barlow. She announced the department on Instagram stories.
Okay, so yeah, WWE releases, and this is usually what I know. It always sucks because it usually always happens whenever companies merge that people are going to get cut. We saw that internally with corporate, and that moved over to the talent side. But here's what's a top tier asshole move, as I said yesterday. A top tier asshole move would be you announce you get $1.4 billion for moving networks. And then you also announce you're going to fire people on the very same day that you do this kind of thing. So,
Well, it was also mentioned yesterday. I mean, Riddick Moss found out he was fired on Twitter.
Yeah, he didn't even get a call or anything. But
Yeah, he didn't
there
get
was
a
a
call.
statement. There was a statement released that by the WWE saying that basically the reason for the releases is we had people on quite high wages that weren't on TV, that weren't kind of worth the money that they were being paid because they're just not on. They're not a draw. They're not on TV being utilized and all this kind of shit. And they're like, well, whose fucking fault is that then?
I think you need to give them. I think you need to give them an out. Like, okay, if you're not going to put me on TV, let me fucking go. Like,
yeah,
why
but what sickens me again is that they all been slapped with a 90-day non-compete clause as well. As independent contractors and all this. Like, that's just one of the most disgusting things. Like the fact that you can impose anti-competition things. Like, it's not just in wrestling. Like, there's companies in America that say, no, you can't go to a competitor. Like, what the fuck kind of shit is that?
Yeah,
To say that you can't go to a competitor.
Because if I recall, Punk and Del Rio got that thing when they got released, when they got let go.
Yeah, he did.
Vince put it in their thing that said, you ain't going to UFC, even though Vince has said repeatedly, UFC and WWE are two completely fucking separate entities.
They also said when Punk was
line of employment.
When Punk was initially released by WWE, I mean, Vince McMahon apparently said when they were in litigation over the over the non-compete clause, he said, you're going to go to TNA and do an anti-WWE angle.
Yeah, and his lawyer said he fucking hates wrestling, so yeah, he ain't going nowhere.
He fucking hates wrestling, he's not going to TNA. And also Brock Lesnar had an insane non-compete clause when he left WWE the first time.
Because he couldn't go anywhere for 2 years, if I remember right. Like,
so what do you think Matt Riddle's going to do next? Because
I don't give a shit what he does next.
No,
I couldn't care less.
Yeah,
I mean,
AEW is not going to take him.
No, they'd be smart not to take him.
He's a talented wrestler. He's a complete idiot.
He brings drama with him everywhere he goes. He's a problem child. They don't.
Look, technically, he's one of the best wrestlers in the ring. Like, he's phenomenal. But he's a complete liability, and he's just not worth having on the books. So, I apart from the indie circuit, maybe Japan, I can't see him going. I Impact and AEW, I don't think will take him.
Impact
I
might.
really don't. Impact
might.
Impact might. Yeah. But AEW not going to take him unless he goes in with the elite and he could just be part of the drama bullshit as well. He could just be added to that spectacle of idiots.
And in that case, if that happens, they deserve each other. Yep. If that happens, they deserve what they get.
What do you mean by Cousin Cheeto's comment? Matt Riddle will show up at Boss Man's gym next week.
Let's go, mate. Let's go.
If that's the case, then yes, Boss Man and Matt Riddle deserve each other.
Yep.
Hey, maybe he can teach you how to put marijuana in your gravy.
Listen, mate, I would happily be trained by Riddle. Like, I know he's a cockwomble.
He can fight, yeah. He can fight.
The guy is a technical. Like, that's what I love watching him wrestle. I can watch him wrestle all day long. Yep. But I just cannot stand the person.
My favorite fucking thing was when he and Goldberg got into it, and he's like, "Hey, bro," and Goldberg looked at him like, "Hey, motherfucker, I ain't your bro." I'm like, bro, if Goldberg and Matt Riddle went at it, Matt Riddle would fucking kill Bill Goldberg.
Matt Riddle could murder half of that
Yeah,
roster.
He would take half of them out. Yeah.
Yeah, he could take half of them out. He is.
Yeah, didn't even Brock Lesnar say he didn't want to fucking work with Riddle?
Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon Matt Riddle could take Brock Lesnar easy.
Yeah.
That'd be an interesting shoot, but it's not going to happen.
No, it's not going to happen.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if they did, and then one of them misstepped, and then just hit the other person for real, and then they just brawled it out in the ring?
If they whip potatoes, yeah.
Well, I mean, Lesnar's been known to throw bombs in the ring. I mean, he's done that to Roman Reigns. He's done that to Braun Strowman.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
sent them the receipt for their botches.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I think the only person that Brock Lesnar wouldn't fuck with is maybe Kurt Angle because Kurt Angle.
Oh no, he and Kurt Angle used to fight. Like they would fight.
They've had a shoot. They both got in the ring before SmackDown show.
Yep.
And they had an amateur wrestling match, which went on for quite a while, but it ultimately was Kurt Angle who won it. And it's not surprising. Brock Lesnar, a very, very talented amateur wrestler, but he was not Olympic level.
Yeah, Angle was on a different level at the time.
I mean, Brock Lesnar is a genetic freak. Let's just say that.
Hell, there's plenty of guys who have amateur wrestling backgrounds. Mick Foley had an amateur wrestling background. Balls Mahoney had an amateur wrestling background, for Christ's sake. But Rick Steiner had an amateur wrestling background.
Yep.
Yes, he did.
None of them, no matter how good their game was, would not be on the level of Kurt Angle.
Yeah, because Angle could do shit that would make you go, huh?
But the thing is, guys, did you know that he won an Olympic gold medal with a broken neck?
Nope.
No,
never heard that before in my life. Yep.
Breaking news here, guys.
Yeah, never heard that
Breaking
before.
news here. You see, I come out with I spit the facts for you.
Next thing you know, next thing you know, you're going to tell me milk is good for me.
Well, next thing you're going to tell us is that Kurt Angle didn't actually drink the milk.
Yeah.
Because he fucking hated the stuff.
Did you guys mention when the Kurt Angle proteges and the gold standard himself, Shelton Benjamin, also being released?
I'm still mad about that. We talked about that yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we.
Zam, again, 1 second, Shredder. Zam, if there's any opinions you want on the people that have been released, feel free to talk. I know you don't watch the product as much as we do, but still,
I don't watch the product. But I just
have your opinion, mate.
It's just funny in a way because I think a lot of people a lot of these wrestlers kind of felt that they were going to be securing their jobs, and this is far from it. And
do you know how old Shelton Benjamin is, by the way, Zam?
40 something.
No, I know. I know.
50.
I know he's not a spring chicken, but that's never.
I'm just saying you're right.
Yeah, you're right.
You're right in that you think he'd have a job for life behind the scenes.
I was saying that yesterday. I was saying, like, of all the people that should have been coaches, Benjamin and Ziggler had jobs for life.
Yeah,
they really did.
That's the shocking part.
Yep.
Yeah.
I know, but it's just interesting to see what seeing all of this now, all of this happening. It's going to be really interesting to see how the company is going to become now, because this is the old adage of better the devil you know than the devil you don't know. And now this is the devil you don't know coming into play. So it'll be interesting post Vince how the WWE ends up being.
Okay, and I want to get Sam's take on this too, because Ginger and I got a little bet going on, and it's fucking hilarious because we both think that he's going to be forced out, but in different ways. I think Vince is going to be forced out. Yeah, I think Vince is going to be forced out because he's going to go on TV and do stupid shit and see how much he could get away with before Ari Emanuel tells him, "Hey, motherfucker, stop doing the shit you're doing, or we're going to force you out." Ginger says,
I say that everything was tickety-boo and they're just waiting for the UFC, the Endeavor deal to go through. And as soon as it goes through, they're going to look for any and every excuse to get rid of Vince McMahon because of all the shit that lingers out of him. And now that is the rumors that are coming out quite strongly that they're now going to make maneuvers to oust Vince McMahon.
And fuck, I hate that I'd be wrong. I'm like, I want him to get away with doing stupid shit. That's how I want him to go. I want him to tank his own fucking product so that way he has to go.
Hang on, is my prediction invalid now?
Yeah, because he's not going to be fucking camels. Yeah, he's not going to be fucking camels.
The camel thing's not going to happen, dude. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Give you my opinion.
Go on, Sam.
Give you my opinion. Like he already tried to do his stupid shit after the sexual allegations came out against him, and he wanted to prove that he was above the law by being on SmackDown and acting like everything was fine until it became too much of an issue, and then he had to go undercover for a little while and wait for the dust to settle. So I think he's very much aware of that, and he doesn't want history to repeat itself. So I personally don't. I think he's good. I think he's not a spring chicken anymore.
Yeah.
I don't. He's in his late 70s. I don't think we're going to be seeing any stupid shit coming from Vince McMahon. I think he's going to be very much behind the scenes. The last stupid shit we've seen from Vince McMahon is that fucking mustache on his face.
Well, he's already kind of interfering once again with creative quite heavily. And I love that he had the audacity to say that the reason he sold the company was because it was stagnating.
More releases expected over the weekend. That just came out. So we're probably going to be back again.
Yeah, I mean, I called 3 of the NXT releases correctly. I said Dana Brooke, I said Dabba Kato, and I said Quincy Elliott.
And to be fair, waiting for Gigi Dolan to come out. You fucking nailed it, Shredder.
Well, I got 3 of them.
You
correct,
got 3 right. Yeah.
I think it's probably going to be more. Again, I think Noam Dar is probably going to be on the list at some point.
Oh yeah, Noam Dar is going to be gone. I would be surprised, like I said yesterday, if they start cutting coaches, and if they cut Shawn Michaels, that's going to be one of those like, "What the fuck are you doing?" type of moment.
Well, that's the fear that I have is a lot of the backroom coaches that they're going to cut, and that's going to have a huge knock-on effect.
Yeah,
with the quality of the wrestling and the product, because it will just be kind of. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a short-sighted thing that Endeavor does, without realizing that there's a big reason why. We can crap on the creative side of WWE all we want, but their performance center is second to fucking none.
Yeah,
the wrestlers and the quality of their wrestling and all of that is fucking phenomenal, and it's because of the performance center.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I mean, I said yesterday. I mean. The rumor was that before Ace Steel was released, AEW was going to be investing in a training facility of their own, and Ace Steel was going to be put in charge of that.
Yeah,
now, I would say keep going for that. Invest in the training facility, but fucking get Shelton Benjamin.
Yes.
Shelton Benjamin can still go in the ring at the age of 48. He can hang with a lot of that young talent. I mean, I would love to see him go to AEW. And say, hey, I want to prove that I am still the gold standard of professional wrestling for the TNT title. And have blowy matches with guys like Darby Allin, Ricky Starks, Will Hobbs, Sammy Guevara, etc., etc.
AEW will do that.
When he is done with pro wrestling, when he's decided, I can't do this anymore, I want out of the ring, transition him to fucking coaching.
Yeah.
Put him in charge of training your talent.
And it can be done because, I mean, just look at, again, with Daniel Bryan, they're already positioning him to kind of
he's going to be the heir. Yeah, he's going to be the heir,
the heir apparent, and they're going to be the booker, the main booker, and Shelton Benjamin, could easily transition to be a coach, and that is a fucking coach you want because he is the gold standard.
And here's the deal, Bryan. You could do what WWE couldn't do. You could feature Shelton in a higher spot, like not necessarily maybe world champion, but put him up there, like be like, all right, you're semi-main, dude.
Put him in for the TNT title and let him have blowaway matches with younger guys, saying, "Hey, I'm still the fucking gold standard of pro wrestling."
Yep.
And I want to prove myself against all these hungry young lions.
Let's get him his flowers now.
I mean,
or even have him take somebody like AR Fox under his wing.
Yeah.
Oh,
that would be magic.
That's a good shout. That's a good shout.
Talking of wrestling, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Ric Flair says he wishes he could redo his last match.
No shit.
I mean, it was one of the worst matches of the year.
Yeah,
a lot of wrestlers wish they could do their last match, but
when you see
Kurt Angle comes to mind.
Yeah, bro, when you see
Kurt Angle wanted Cena.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
Fuck Ric Flair. He's a great piss wanker, but still, regarding his career, he's going to be more remembered than that last match, in my opinion.
Yeah, bro. Like when you see Undertaker and Mick Foley hanging their heads at Ric Flair's last match, that's when you know you done fucked up. That's when you know you done stayed around way too long. When you got 2 of your peers looking at you like, this motherfucker right here, he got to go, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, Ric Flair has also been open previously. He said he wished that his last match had been the one against Shawn Michaels because
and it
he's
should have
been able to top that.
Nope.
Although I would say he did fairly well in TNA against Mick Foley. They had a fairly decent match against each other.
I thought the match he had with Jay Lethal was really good.
Yeah, Jay Lethal had a good match with back in the days of TNA. But again, Mick Foley was probably the best one that he had.
Yeah,
in that entire run.
We'll talk about Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels' last match was in that fucking in Saudi Arabia.
No, that doesn't exist. That doesn't exist. I don't acknowledge it. I refuse. Never happened. We're not going to talk about that.
It happens.
Again, Michaels is.
I'll tell you how what we do. The Matrix is going to get zapped. See that? There you go. It never happened.
It didn't exist. It didn't happen. It's wiped from existence. We don't acknowledge that. Shawn Michaels' last match was officially WrestleMania 26 against The Undertaker. Okay,
that's it.
Personally, I like that match against in Saudi Arabia because
he's still talking
hilarious.
about it.
Oh, because it was hilarious.
Absolutely hilarious.
Yeah. So bad,
it's hilarious.
Yeah, I get it.
It's so because like you got 4 exceptional wrestlers who have had exceptional matches and are all fucking Hall of Famers, legends, the lot. And yet somehow, regardless of their experience, they combine together to make this absolutely hilarious clusterfuck. I loved it.
Look,
I loved it.
It was 4 guys who unfortunately were well and truly past their prime. I mean, Triple H was injured in that match.
Yeah.
Shawn Michaels hadn't been in the ring for a long time, and he got injured during that match.
8 years.
Undertaker, I think, got hurt during that match as well.
Yep.
I remember it took allegedly, what was it, $10 million to get Shawn out of retirement for that match.
Yep.
Kane's mask came off in that match. I mean, this is like luckily people knew what he looked like prior to that, but still, like if this was the first time his mask had come off as the character Kane, that would have been a tragedy.
Yeah, it would have been like, what the fuck?
But, So I mean, at least Undertaker got to end his legacy the right way. I mean, his final match was AJ Styles. You know, they were able to hide his weaknesses at that with that style of match. I'm not a fan of the cinematic style. I think that one was okay. And again, I think it was great the fact that they were able to hide Undertaker's weaknesses and give him a final send off that he wanted, because he wanted to go out with a good match.
Yeah, and he did.
All right. I know I'm going to do a proper review of this show later on, but I'll do a quick review of it now. Wrestlers on Netflix is a really good show. It's a good documentary about OVW, the different personalities, the different kind of things that are going on with that show, with that territory the last year or so. I would recommend it if you're a wrestling fan. I would definitely recommend it if you're in the business, like I am. I definitely would recommend it if you like the fact that they're trying to keep this thing afloat.
I'm probably going to watch it.
Gary, I get that you recommend it, but a couple of.
Sorry, I was just going to.
Sorry, Shred.
I was just going to say I'm quickly going to watch it just for one simple reason, and that's a quote from Al Snow from that documentary that's been doing the rounds on social media. He got asked, "What's a death match?" And he said, "A bad fucking idea."
So what was it, Suzanne?
You Gary, you see the entire show, yeah? You watched it all.
Yeah.
How many episodes are there?
About 6. Well, seven.
For real. About an hour long.
About 30-40 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, even better.
I'll watch it then, because I'm like, all right, cool. If every episode was like an hour or so, I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna watch that. That's too long.
6 35-minute episodes. That's almost like 3 episodes. Yeah, I'll give it a go. Yeah.
Is that wrestlers?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I could get this comparison because people say Matt Riddle will enter the Tessa Blanchard, Marty Scurll category. His wrestling career is over. I agree.
Well, at least his mainstream career, because I mean, Tessa Blanchard did get a second chance with the return of Women of Wrestling.
And the funny thing is, I met Tessa Blanchard. She was cool to me. I met her a few years back.
Well, yeah, I mean,
when you but remember the allegations against her were with regard to how she treated other women in the business.
Yeah. She's one of the most talented people to just burn her bridge in terms of female wrestlers. Like she would have been
She would have been
upper echelons years ago.
Yeah,
had
can you
not burned
imagine
the
if she came
bridges.
to? Can you imagine if she came to WWE a few years back? Oh,
Well,
man.
she blew a
Well, she
tryout
did,
with
and she got
WWE.
kicked out.
She
Yeah,
got kicked out of the Performance Center because she got in a very public argument with Ricochet.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. But it had, you know, if it wasn't for, if she wasn't, you know, her father's daughter, basically, then her career would have just hit the stratosphere. But no, she's
Well,
too
and that's the
toxic
thing.
to-
I'm surprised. I mean, Tully Blanchard didn't really so much raise her as Magnum TA did.
Yeah. Yeah, but it doesn't matter who raises you. It's your it's just if you inherit somebody's personality, then that's it. Like my brother is finally realizing what a stubborn shit he was all his life because one of his sons is a stubborn little thing. You know, it's the same kind. I said to him, "Hey, this is what we've had to deal with for the 40+ years that you've been on this planet. Now you can deal with it. Welcome
good
to
luck
our
to you,
world."
bro. Yep.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who raised you. If you're garbage, you're garbage. You know, sometimes it just you can't help it.
Here's what I find funny. Here's what I find funny. People are now like freaking out over Matt Riddle. I was like, oh my God, what a wasted opportunity. WWE completely fucked up. I'm like, nope. This is on Matt Riddle here, ladies and gents.
This is
Sorry,
on Matt
not
Riddle.
sorry. Yep. It's
Yeah.
on him.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, don't like the guy, never like the guy. Do love his wrestling.
Yeah.
And I couldn't care less what happens to him. Yeah. You know.
Yeah.
Go be a trainer.
And here's the funny thing. It's right around the time Randy Orton is starting to be training for his comeback. Because Orton's on his way back. Yeah. Probably by
Oh no,
Royal
we
Rumble.
don't get to do RK Bro. God, he's another prick that needs to
I know.
just
How
fuck
am I
off, man.
how am I gonna sleep at night? I don't know. I mean,
I cannot stand Randy Orton at all. He needs to be released. He's not a draw. Nobody cares about him.
I don't
He's a
mind him. I mean,
lifer.
he's now
That's
at the
the
stage of his
lifer.
career. He's now at the stage of his career where he can be considered a legend of the company.
then somebody
Oh,
needs
he's
to
a
take him out.
legend.
Yeah,
He's
somebody
a
needs
legend,
to
but
somebody needs to take him out and go full meta. Be like, all right, motherfucker, you were the legend killer. Now I'm gonna take you out. It needs to be like a full circle meta kind of fucking thing. At least that's what I think anyway needs to happen.
well,
Yeah, I mean that would be cool if Braun Breaker, for example, was to come in and say, "I'm going to be the guy." You know, I'm the up and coming legend. You know, I'm a fucking Steiner. I am from a legendary family in this business.
Yeah, and then he's the
And
one
I
that
am
takes
the
out
fellow
Orton.
legend killer.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna 6 to the 3rds of you to kill you, and the 3 other times,
And
plus
then I'm
the
gonna
7, and then I'm
and-
gonna do you, mate. You know,
and then I'm gonna
you're
have
Dynamite.
I think Randy Orton.
and then I'm gonna have a
I think Randy
141
Orton's got another title reign.
2/3%. What?
Randy Orton's got another title reign in him.
Yes, but for a
I
different
hope
reason.
not.
It's going to be him and Cena at a WrestleMania for like their 17th or something.
They'll bring back the
yeah.
24/7 title.
Yeah,
No thanks.
because
I heard,
do
by the
think-
way, you mentioned about. Sorry, so you mentioned the fact that the Rock is going to be fighting Roman Reigns at WrestleMania.
Allegedly, yeah.
allegedly it's going to
I
happen
like-
because they wouldn't bring The Rock back to
But it,
SmackDown for a random
but
ass
it does
appearance.
mean that
Yeah.
the Rock is going to beat him as well, because there's no way. So Roman Reigns is going to beat the Rock as well, because there's no way it'll make any sense whatsoever
to have The Rock win this
for the
match.
Rock
Yeah,
to
Rock
beat Roman Reigns.
Rock is not going to win
Yeah.
this match. If anything, this is Rock's real quote unquote retirement match.
I don't know. I mean,
I think,
But
I
dude,
think,
the guy should have
I
retired
think-
ages ago. He's crap now. He's so crap.
I think Roman Reigns is gonna drop the title at Survivor Series, just like
or
Hogan
the Royal
did.
Rumble.
Or the
Yeah.
Rumble. Yeah.
Rumble. And then go
I
from
mean,
there.
Yeah,
I prefer if you drop out the Rumble to Cody Rhodes, and then the winner.
Jim
that-
Cornette and Brian Last were discussing this, and they had an interesting theory, which is that Reigns drops the title to Cody at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
Basically, Rock is there effectively as an enforcer to keep the rest of the bloodline at bay. He costs Reigns the title. They have the match at WrestleMania. So, and that would be a case of where, yeah, they can have the match. Rock doesn't have to win the title, and he can still beat Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
I don't want it. I'm like,
Then
no.
bloodline.
I mean, I don't want the Rock back. I can't stand when we keep fucking harking back to old fucks. Like, I don't really care. You know, don't get me wrong. The Rock's like, you know, in my legendary
Every
status.
lucky little he can have an injury.
But
Yeah,
he's
I
look up
don't
to
mind when it's
Shane
done
McMahon.
right. I don't mind when it's done right and the guy can go. I mean, we all expected the worst, I think, when it was announced that Steve Austin was coming back to fight Kevin Owens.
Yeah, I was worried.
They had one of the fucking best matches of the card.
Yeah, but that's a hardcore match. You can disguise. That's a hardcore match. You can disguise your limitations. You're regarding a guy who can go. It's all good saying a guy can go if he wrestles week in, week out. Rock doesn't. And that's my problem right there.
That's true. I mean,
well, nothing's Stone Cold, but the thing is, it's also
both matches against Cena.
But Stone Cold had
yeah.
Yeah, but Stone Cold had that hardcore match, which obviously hides his limitations. The motherfucker's wrestling on his goddamn quad bike, for fuck's sake. You know, he's doing all this crazy shit. So
but it's also a testament to Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is very somebody you trust with your life in a fucking
no doubt. But you just feel the Rock. You know, unless they have a hardcore match, and I'm not sure if that's going to be the case. You know, I just like, look, the Cena Rock matches were shit. They really were.
He was knackered within the first couple of minutes.
He was out of it within the first 5 minutes.
It's also a face versus face match, and the way the WWE formulates their matches is always like a heel versus face, where the face gets the offense and the heel gets the offense.
No, Roman Reigns is a heel.
Anything goes.
Yeah,
Roman Reigns is not a face.
Sorry, I apologize.
Yeah, Reigns is a heel in this match.
Reigns is a heel.
I do agree. I do.
Yeah, and even if he wasn't, there is no fucking way the audience will be cheering for Roman Reigns against The Rock. You know, it'll be the opposite of the Hogan versus Rock match, where they'll be cheering on The Rock, even if The Rock was supposed to be like the bad guy or whatever.
I just think The Rock's magic is not there. I saw him come back to SmackDown, and I thought to myself, it was cool for a bit, but I just don't think it's there. Like, you haven't got Austin Theory with your lines and shit like that. I just thought to myself, it's all right. You know what I mean? But I don't think it's as cool as it once was.
I agree.
I agree. It doesn't have.
Yeah. It was like, okay, cool. It's good to see him back. But I'm like, to be honest, the pop that he got when he came back in 2011 the first time, like, nothing is going to top that. Nothing has, because he came back. It was like, all right, cool.
Yeah, I mean, okay. Look, the pop he got is because legitimately nobody fucking knew that he was going to show up. It's because him and Pat McAfee were doing a show nearby, so gathered that the WWE were like, hey, why don't you just pop onto SmackDown? Fuck it. Yep. And they're like, okay, because you could tell because their appearance wasn't scripted, because, you know, The Rock tends to have a lot of his stuff quite heavily scripted from what we found out. He wasn't as big as a phenomenal orator as we all thought he was. Quite a lot of his stuff is quite heavily scripted. And you could tell when he came here, because then you get the crowd for like 10 minutes going, you're an arsehole. So I was like, oh, that's so original. But I think just because Rock as well is a bit of like Dwayne Johnson's a bit of a fucking like, you know, he doesn't paint himself in the right. As much as he tries to be the good guy, he just comes across as a bit of a douche outside of it. And whether it's intentional or not, and you know, bringing that back in, knowing that, and then him coming into wrestling is just like, I don't want to see you anymore, man. You know, I loved you in your heyday, but that's it.
Let's just get it out of the fucking way. Like, that's kind of how I feel about it. I'm like, if this is truly it, let this be truly it. I'm tired of seeing you, bro. I'm like, go away. You're done.
Yeah,
you had your comeback.
And if they bring CM Punk back, then The Rock's just going to be an afterthought. Yeah, it's going to be an afterthought.
Yep.
Because like, we can get The Rock, but we can get CM Punk, who can still go.
Yep. And the money match is CM Punk and Cody. I don't care what anyone says. That's your money match.
Yeah, that would be my main event for WrestleMania.
That'll be my. Well, I mean, I wouldn't say main event, but definitely them two be fighting.
That's your main event.
My main event, because that would be. If I'm CM Punk
show.
Yeah, it's a 2-day show.
Night show. I mean, your night one, you could do CM Punk versus Cody. Night two, you could do Roman Reigns versus Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it could be like Punk comes back and he's like, all right, man, I know like the way I left here, like, you know, I fucked up. I said some shit. And then like, you motherfucker, you are, you know, a fabric of the machine. And I'm here to show you that, like, hey, motherfucker, I'm still anti-authority, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, that's how that would go.
Well, the match that I would have is Gunther versus versus Rollins for the championship. That's just like that's category there.
Yeah, for the other belt. Yeah,
Gunther Reigns. I want to see
Gunther Reigns. Gunther Reigns would be a banger. That would be a fight.
That's
Title
what I
versus
would have
title.
had instead of The Rock.
Yeah, Gunter Reigns, title versus title, Bloodline versus Imperium.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Don't put the Intercontinental title on the line. Gives it away. Don't do it. It's going to give it away that Gunther would win.
Would it?
And Reigns
it?
wouldn't need the Intercontinental title if you really stop to think about it. He
Well,
wouldn't
he
need
just
it.
wins it and then he just tosses it to one of his
Yeah,
bloodlines.
he's gonna win it, and then just he just says this belt
Yeah,
means
here,
nothing to me.
take
If I win it, Sikoa's getting it next night,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
or I'm
exactly.
gonna melt it down into a lay.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
They did that with the
there's
Undertaker's
definitely
urn.
ways around it.
Yeah.
I mean, the other one is maybe LA Knight could beat Rollins for it. I don't know.
If they start doing shit with him, yeah.
There's root. I mean, they're saying that they're pushing him now to the hilt because they know he's the top babyface in the company at the moment. So yeah, there's LA Knight could be in the mix as well. You've got Cody Rhodes, you've got LA Knight, possibly CM Punk as well. You can have a main event scene that isn't just fucking Roman fucking Reigns.
Yep.
Well, I mean, but the buddy would be Roman Reigns versus LA Knight because nuclear heat. People would say,
I mean, in terms of the crowd, that
the crowd would
nuclear crowd reaction.
Especially, I mean, if LA Knight were to win the Rumble.
Yeah, if LA Knight were to win the Rumble and then he lost at WrestleMania, that would be Roman's like greatest achievement as a heel that he would ever get. I don't think there'd be anything better than that.
Yeah, but LA Knight winning the Rumble is a fucking good shout.
Yeah. And what I would do,
I would have
I would have LA Knight enter at like number 3. I would have him go damn near the entire thing.
Yeah, and then he fights for the Seth Rollins title rather than the main title.
Yep.
You know. So yeah.
And then for the Hall of Fame, your headliner.
Comments.
Yep. And your Hall of Fame.
I've put them up already.
Yep. And your Hall of Fame headliner would be Hall of Fame headliner is obviously going to be Paul Heyman for 2024. I'm putting Paul Heyman in as my main guy.
Well, regarding Paul Heyman, one of the things I think is that in a way of maybe getting the belt off Roman Reigns, you could have Paul Heyman turn on Roman Reigns, at some point, and then that would also make Roman Reigns a face. Again. Well, I mean, that's what Paul Heyman does, doesn't he?
Yep.
Maybe he might have to find a new prodigy as well. I think that would be the case.
I mean, Heyman's going to need a prodigy anyway because Roman Reigns is like, he's now a part-timer. He's not full-time.
Yeah, put him there with Solo. Put him there with Solo. That's an easy fix.
Yeah.
At the same time as well, I think within the WWE, they need to somehow organically find somebody within their roster to do what Sami Zayn did. Just like because no one ever thought Sami Zayn would end up being a main eventer.
They have LA Knight.
Yeah, they got LA Knight for that. They've got
LA Knight is organically over. He's organically one of their top stars.
They tried to bury him and they couldn't.
Yep. And one of the rare things that happened, WWE didn't turn LA Knight face. The fans turned LA Knight face.
Yeah.
That's a rarity in today's day and age.
Oh,
Sami Zayn is the biggest botch of 2023 for me. They botched that. They botched that so much.
Mm-hmm.
If you know that Roman Reigns is going for the record, then do something else with Sami Zayn. Because he should have been the one to take the title off of him. Yep. You would have had just like Daniel Bryan and Kofi Kingston levels of fucking tearing down the house had that happened, but they butchered that, and it's unforgivable.
Because the Kofi angle was the last time they actually got it right. Like it was like, okay, holy shit, they pulled the trigger. They finally had a black dude win the WWE Championship, which was something that I honestly thought I'd never lived to see.
Was born out of a mistake. It was born out of an injury. Sorry, not a mistake. It was born
coincidentally with Mustafa Ali, the guy that got released.
He got injured.
Yep.
And then they put Kofi Kingston and fucking they would just like he gets the win at Elimination Chamber and everyone's screaming the house down. They're just like, oh shit, we've done the right thing here. And they just ran with it. Yep. And they did it perfectly. Then a lot could be said about his run.
They had the right. They had the perfect. They had the perfect guy to go up against him in heel Daniel Bryan. I mean, it was perfect.
Yeah, and I think because Kofi is just very well liked within the company, there was less hesitation to have him get the title
paid
because
his
he's
dues.
over,
Yeah.
and they love him within the company as well. He's a great ambassador for the product. So
I was
if you
gonna say,
compare
he's
between
the guy
that,
you could put on daytime talk shows.
Yeah, he's a guy
Yeah.
that you want on
Yeah.
the Today Show. Yeah.
and he's clean as fuck. Like his outside the ring record is more wholesome than
Yeah, because he's
most of that
never.
roster. No
Yeah, 'cause-
controversies apart
'cause
from the accent thing. That's his biggest controversy.
I know it was like, yeah, when they buried his accent, like it just was gone, and then it was like, hey, motherfucker, what happened to your accent?
Didn't you
Well,
used to
he
have a
buried his
Jamaican
accent.
My point is that
Him-
WWE have countless wrestlers who reached the top, and yet they somehow don't give these guys another shot to reach the top again and make them more established main eventers,
Yeah.
like Kofi Kingston, like what's his face, the Irish guy,
Sheamus.
Irish heel guy.
Sheamus.
No, the other one, the coup de grace, that one.
Finn Balor.
Oh, Finn Balor.
Oh, Finn
Sheamus
Balor.
is-
Well, it's because
Finn-
he was
Finn-
injury prone.
Finn Balor, Kevin Owens,
Yeah.
but these are all like guys who've got the brass ring at some particular point. They should be they should be like a top tier main event, group of guys, but somehow they still end up being mid carders again after reaching the top. It's weird,
Yeah, well, that's why I
It's
want
weird.
I want them to make maneuvers to oust Vince, because I think once they do that, then they could really, because let's face it, the product really shined under Triple H, and I think UFC know this, because that's why Vince tried to say, he used the excuse of, oh, the reason I sold it was to because the product was stagnating. It's like, no, that's a fucking lie. You sold it because you clawed your way back in, you wanted all the power, and then you just was like, if I could do a deal with selling this company to remain in power some way or another, then that's what I'm going to fucking do. And that's what happened. No, to be fair, there were rumors of them always. Nick Khan was brought in for the specific reason that they were going to sell WWE anyway. So then the whole scandals happened. And
They
then
didn't need
Vince.
to sell, man. It's so bizarre. Like I've never understood. Like they're
Vince
making
is a
money.
cunt. He doesn't want to leave it to his kids.
Yeah, because I'm greedy and I got a fireman mustache, and I'm not leaving it.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving fuck all to my kids, despite all they've done to contribute
Nothing.
to the
Yeah.
business.
How do you describe that as a fireman mustache? That's more like
It is a
Vincent
fireman
Price.
mustache.
More like Vincent Price.
Vincent Price mustache.
That is every Greek Cypriot uncle who's 60 plus mustache. That's what that is. When I first saw Vince McMahon, I was like, bloody hell, that looks like my uncle Panayotti. That looks like my uncle this. That looks like my fucking granddad when he was 50. It's the most typical, just if you Google it, you'll see they all had the mustache. A little thin, badly dyed mustache. That's what he reminds
Hang
me
on,
of.
I'll send you a comparison that you can put up in the chat. Well, in the chat, and you can put it up on screen. We'll
All
see
right.
who
He
wore it better.
looks like a bad musician. Not a musician, a magician. Sorry, he looks like a really bad magician.
Yeah,
But anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted,
Put it up on the screen, Panny, and let's see who wore it better.
Before I was so rudely interrupted, by the way, Shredder, you're fired for interrupting me. All right, so here's the deal. I'm not leaving shit to my fucking kids, despite what they contributed to the company, because I'm Vince McMahon, damn it. I bought the WWF or the WWE for a small loan of $1 million from my father. And then later on, I decided to cut a whole bunch of talent, steal from like WCW and ECW, because I'm original. And look at that fireman mustache. Look at that. I look so sexy. Damn it. I look amazing.
All right, I'm gonna go see if I can find a picture of my uncle. Let me hide this.
Yeah, who wore it better?
And by the way,
Vince
while
McMahon
you're
or
looking
John
for that,
Waters?
there's a comment here on Kick. It's called by I Love Ducks 23. Oh hell no, you cross-eyed inbred bitch! Your mother should have aborted your ass by hanging herself while pregnant.
I love you too.
What the fuck?
I love
about,
you
by
too.
the way? None of us are cross-eyed. Who the fuck is she talking? Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
you can subscribe to my OnlyFans for £3.99.
What?
That was a joke. So,
I couldn't hear you. You were muffling.
Okay,
So,
yeah, so.
It's
All right,
Gary
guys,
plugging
I'm
his
going.
OnlyFans where you can watch him
going to
making
head. I'm going to head off.
$3.99.
All right, Zam.
I get a gravy on
I'll take.
for $3.99.
All right, Zamo.
Have
All
a
right,
good
Zam.
stream, fellas.
Yep.
Yeah.
See you later. Bye
Take it
bye.
easy, mate.
Later.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
let
but
me just
okay,
get this picture up.
And
Oh,
here's the
okay.
thing in AEW news: how the fuck does Rick Knox still have a job? That's what I'm still wondering. A few days later, how
For
the fuck
now.
is he still working? Yeah, for now.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah.
Yeah, look,
I was-
this is my uncle.
Okay.
He was a famous shoemaker in Camden, but this is him, and every Greek Cypriot looks just like this. Okay, just like Vince McMahon does. See, there you go. Look, the hair,
All right, yeah, I got to give it to
thin
your
little
uncle. I think-
mustache.
Yeah.
That's what they all look like.
I got to
And
give it to
that's
your
his
uncle.
shoe
I
shop in
think
Camden. He
I
used to
think-
make shoes for fucking
Yep.
everyone, even the Beatles, the Rolling Stones,
nice.
and all that. Like, yeah, but that's what they all look like. They all look like that. That thin little Vince McMahon.
And he just
fucking
name dropping people like he's fucking boss
trash.
man in his
Thankfully,
wrestling.
they're not a sexual deviant like Vince McMahon.
Yep. Yeah, but with the AEW side, how the fuck does Rick Knox still have a
the
job?
Mansoor and Mace getting kicked pissed me off because those guys were fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
Those guys were
It didn't
really
surprise
good.
me, though.
It didn't shock
I can't
me,
hear you
though.
lot. What's going on?
I don't know.
Yeah, we're all still here.
Hang on.
Shows he's not muted or anything. I don't know.
Is he muted us all again?
Talk again?
What?
Have you muted us all again, or
No. Oh, I
Did
can't
you mute
hear
us all or what? What
all
the
right,
fuck?
I'm gonna.
I think he
All right,
might
well,
have
you-
muted us all again.
Yep.
Can you hear us now?
Now,
What's going on here?
can you hear me now?
Did you? Hang on.
What the fuck?
Well,
I can hear you. So
yeah, we can hear him.
Weird.
We had this issue last week where you muted
Yeah, we
us
had
all.
this issue the last time. Yeah, somebody did something.
I'm-
Yeah.
Oh, for some reason it muted my fucking window.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I mean,
it
we
does
had this
that.
issue last week.
Huh?
We had this exact issue last week where you got you
muted.
you were muted for everybody else.
Yeah, the fucking. I think sometimes when I go to click, because I'm using Opera, and then so when you go to click on the tab, there's the volume button. If you click on that, it mutes the bloody tab, so
it
you
does
can't
that.
hear anything.
Yeah.
Stupid bastards.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I say, Mason Mansour, that those guys, they were hilarious. They were badly booked,
Yep.
and bloody good wrestlers as well.
I think it was basically all over once Maxine Dupree left.
Yeah, once she was gone, because she was the money. Yeah, once she was gone, that was kind of it. But,
Well, apparently, like they were showing up in like battle royales, and people were pissed off like who put them in there, and it's just like, well, somebody put us in there. Why are you pissed off that we showed up in them?
yeah.
And then after that, yeah, they said that they had an angle that they were going to do, and then the angle got dropped, and then Maxine Dupree went over to the thing, and then that was it. They were off TV, and they knew the writing was on the wall.
I think in Mansour's case, it's now been a case of WWE kind of realized that they don't need a token Saudi Arabian wrestler for the Saudi Arabia shows anymore.
Yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
Remember, it used to be a case of Mansour wasn't seen on TV until right about the time that the Saudi shows were coming up, and then
And
they
he'd
realized,
usually
oh,
win.
shit, he still works here. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that was the thing. He had it was part of the deal with Saudi Arabia that he had a winning streak.
Yep.
That-
And then
Yeah,
another
but they
one
don't
I-
need him anymore, and they got rid of him.
yeah,
And
they
another
made him,
one,
you
I-
know.
Another one I feel for is Dana Brooke, because she was one of those that no matter what they gave her, she always did everything she could to make it work.
I remember
was
when she
rarity, too.
first started, she was bloody awful, and I was like, oh, they've just hired her in because blonde, big tits, blah blah blah.
Yep.
Within a couple of years, she was like phenomenal worker. She was doing
Yeah.
shit like her work. She had improved massively, and yeah, it just felt bad for her because I'm like, how can Natalia, the veteran, be still so shit at wrestling, and yet Dana Brooke has improved fucking massively?
Yep.
You
I
know,
enjoyed
so,
her
yeah,
work with
sad.
I enjoyed her work as the manager of Titus O'Neil and Apollo for the time that they were teaming together. And she was like, I've been crunching the numbers, I've been doing this, I've been doing that to take Titus worldwide and make it bigger. I'm like, that's the kind of shit I like to see, because it came off as very organic, and she had good
Yeah.
mic skills, and she tried to make everything work.
She was also fairly good teaming up with Gallows and Anderson for a brief period too.
Yeah.
They're still at the company, by the way.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
still there.
They're still there.
Yeah,
I
Gallows and
wouldn't
Anderson
be
are still
surprised
there, but I
if they
think-
get chopped.
No, I think they'll keep them because again they've still been doing stuff on TV with them and AJ Styles. So
Yeah,
I
this
think
other-
they'll,
right.
they'll still be there. My next round of cuts, I'm expecting probably Noam Dar is going to be on that list.
Yeah, Noam Dar is going to go because he hasn't really been there in a while. Almost.
No, I think Omos will stay.
Almost will stay, but they need to do something with him. They need to figure it out. Like this whole thing with him and MVP, I'm like, okay, cool, but where are you taking it? What are you trying to do?
Drew Gulak, I can see getting dropped as well.
What about the Viking Raiders or whatever they're called?
They're still there.
They're still on TV and they're feuding with the New Day. So
yeah, they're not going anywhere yet. As Shredder
goes, Matrix got him.
But the talent is fine. It's just that she's not really been given good people to work with. She's a good wrestler. She's just not been good.
She's not a good wrestler. She's not. She's very much a product of the Divas era. Like she's just not. She should be, for someone of her caliber, for someone of her history, like people should be talking about her technical prowess, but they're not.
They're not.
Every time I see Natalya on screen, I just know she's just there to get buried, and that's it. And I don't rate her. I mean, yeah, Jade Cargill's on the way to the WWE. So I mean, she's fucking money, but again, she's still a bit needs that WWE conditioning. So I'm hoping she trains with them before.
And knowing WWE, I'm going to keep my expectations low with Jade. I hate saying that, but I'm going to keep my expectations low with Jade because
I reckon her WWE date is going to be Nightshade McGraw or something like that.
Reportedly, Jada Parker got
Annie Williams.
Jada Parker got trademarked. So
yeah, that's again? Possible.
Jada Parker.
Jada Parker. Yep. Don't change her name, man. Just let her come in as Jade Cargill. This is so fucking stupid, all this constant name changing.
But WWE, they got to WWEize you. You can't.
Yeah, they got to brand you. And they
got to change your name so they own your name.
Yeah, but it's silly. It's like, she's made a massive name for herself already outside of WWE, and her coming in with a different name, everyone's going to be like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, we know this is Jade Cargill. This isn't some nobody they're bringing in, like, changing again Steiner's name to fucking Braun Breaker, like stupid crap like that.
I mean, WWE. This is the WWE who thought it was a good idea to go Vader, this guy who has won,
let's call him the Mastodon.
We're gonna call him the Mastodon.
Yeah, he's won championships all over the world. Japan, America,
the Road Warriors. We'll call him Legion of Doom. All this.
I said it's fucking Vader. He's a former WCW champion. Everybody in the world knows who he is.
We're gonna repackage Wild Bill Irwin, one of the legends of the territories, as the Goon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Terry Funk, we're going to call him Chainsaw Charlie.
Chainsaw Charlie. Just fucking ridiculous.
Terry Taylor, who was one of the best workers in the business at that point, getting called the Red Rooster.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, that's just fucking the injustice they did to Taylor and to Dusty Rhodes.
Oh, the worst one, and this is unbeatable. No. The one man guy that said Akeem, the African Dream. The guy that I have.
Yeah.
And I can do you one worse.
Go on.
The Gobbledygooker. Do you know who was under the suit?
I guarantee you, not many people know this one. I know
Guerrero.
Yeah, Hector Guerrero. Yep.
Oh my God, was it Hector Guerrero?
It was Hector Guerrero. Yep.
Jesus Christ.
And originally, here's the funny story.
Vince is just a white supremacist anyway, so anyone remotely ethnic is just going to get fucking drawn through the mud. Let's be fucking honest.
But here's a funny story. The Undertaker thought he was going to be Eggman originally. Yeah. He actually thought that. Yeah.
He was dreading it.
He was dreading it because he thought, I'm going to be Eggman.
That's
before his debut.
Hilarious.
Yep. Yeah, because they spent all this, months?
Like building up this fucking egg.
Teasing out, what's going to come out of this egg. And lo and behold, it's the Gobbledygooker. The one guy out of all the releases I'm expecting might just quit wrestling outright is Top Dollar.
Yeah, Top Dollar, I think he's done.
Yeah, he's not going to be a draw anyway. He's nothing special.
The only way I can see him coming down is if he decides to try and work as a manager or a mouthpiece for a wrestler.
Yeah,
I don't think in the ring, I think he's done because, again, he spent months just being utterly buried by Michael Cole on national TV. So,
And I don't know if you guys know, Top Dollar, he would say shit backstage, which is one of the things you're not
yeah,
really
that's
supposed to
partly
do.
partly one of the reasons he was cut, because he was a pain in the ass to deal with.
Yeah.
Oh, well, fair enough. Then if you developed a reputation, then that's pretty much game over. I see him being like a Bo Dallas and just doing an ordinary job.
And then he goes
I
on
can't
Twitter,
see
and then
him
he's
as,
like, he goes on Twitter, because I see him on Twitter, and he's like, yeah, I've been having that reputation of like difficult to work with. And I'm like, bro, if you're out here bragging on social media, they frown upon that type of shit. I don't know if you know that, dude. It's like,
yeah, exactly.
you make yourself sound like a bigger deal than you actually are, which I hate to tell you, you never really were. So, yeah.
Well, I think Top Dollar could come back if he gets himself a better gimmick than Top Dollar.
I don't know if you can save him. I don't. You could probably put him in as a manager, but his in-ring career, you can't save him. I don't think he can be.
Yeah, he's done.
with.
Who cares anyway? Like, who fuck does anyone legitimately cares?
Yeah,
And let's be real,
No.
Hit Row wasn't shit the day Swerve left. That was it.
Yeah, exactly. Losing Swerve was the biggest hit that they took.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Who gives a shit? So, all right. Well, it'll be interesting. I think we can call the stream there, gentlemen, unless you have anything else you want to talk about.
No, I think we're good.
No, I think we're good. Once again, William, thank you again. We know it's not the best kind of thing to say thanks with, but with all the stuff that you brought in regarding Russell Brand, I want to thank all of my co-hosts that came in, and it was a hell of a stream today. It was a bit of a long one, but it was warranted given the circumstances. I want to thank you to all the commentators that left their comments on all platforms, and with that, don't stick around because we're all going to bed, but keep an eye out for more content on NerdTube. And on that note, let normality resume.